This is the Seahawkers podcast, draft day extravaganza.
Yes!
Of the military Seahawkers. And joining me, we've got my good buddy Clinton Bonner and the protector from Seahawks What If, Mr. Phil Leidick.
What's up, boys? How we doing?
Doing great. Been waiting for this for a little while, huh?
Yeah.
A little while.
Yeah.
Ever since that fated day when I was driving back from Yakima and I heard that we had a divorce on our team, I started switching toward looking forward to this night. So we're finally here.
Yeah, we get to find out who, if it's going to be Drew Lock, is it going to be between Drew Lock and Geno, or are we going to get a quarterback here in the top 10? We'll see. Maybe we'll have to wait until tomorrow to find that out. But I think that's kind of one of the big questions is which direction does general manager John Schneider, head coach Pete Carroll, which direction do they see this team going? Are they going to build through the trenches? Are they going to go right after a quarterback? It's pretty interesting I'm excited to find out which way it's going to go, and I'm glad you guys could join. I know Adam Emmert's going to try and join later. Wilson Kahn's talking about joining, so
nice.
Awesome.
We've got Rob Staten may join us a little bit later after the pick's been made. So
wow,
yeah, we got big plans
This
for
is the all-star lineup, dude. You got the Jerry Lewis, phone-a-thon here, Brandon. Very nice. That's a good job. Can I just say right now that I don't want us to pick a quarterback tonight. And I don't think I want us to pick a quarterback tomorrow night.
Hey,
I'm all about the day 3 quarterback.
Did you see that, Clinton, where Coach Carroll apparently tweeted, was that the real Coach Carroll? It looked like it was, that he tweeted a song, he does his tips, and it was next year. So maybe they're planning for next year. We were talking in the Discord before we got on here. Maybe he's going to try to trade back and get another first so we can get Will Levis that Rob Staten's in love with, or, I don't know. But he said next year, maybe we're going to pull another pick, when we drop back. I don't know. I don't know what you guys think about that.
Yeah, is he calling his shot Babe Ruth style? Is next year is the year that the Seahawks are going to go to the Super Bowl? It's, with these Pete Carroll draft clues, we really, if it's next year, it could be next calendar year, 2023, and we could have a Super Bowl season coming up right now. So I like the way Pete Carroll thinks, if that's the case.
Yeah, I saw one. I think it was a fake one, but it was funny yesterday that had a big bowl of Skyline chili, but then which is Cincinnati, but then in the back they had like sauce. So it was like, oh, it's Sauce Gardner. It's like, but it was just this whole disgusting pile of Skyline chili. Although I've never actually had Skyline, I shouldn't call it disgusting. I like spaghetti. I like chili. I know Keith Ketover is a fan, so I think Flocktimus likes it. I'd probably like it too. So, but looks like we're about to get underway here, fellas. This is exciting. So I guess real quick, last second, what do you guys think we actually do? What do you like? Heart of heart, gut. What do you think we're do we actually? I guess do we stick to 9, or do you think we move one way or the other? What do you think?
Well, we saw Brandon's prediction if you're on field goals. So he's, that's the cat's already out of the bag. If you look there, maybe you didn't. Go ahead, Brandon. Let the listeners hear what your prediction was.
Would that be my heart of heart pick, though? I prediction versus heart of heart. That's maybe a tough thing to try and suss out. But yes, Roger Goodell up on the podium. I'm not hearing a whole lot of boos, which that's maybe we need. Maybe Vegas is going a little soft on.
No, I think it's the exact, not the exact opposite. I think it's like maybe there's not so many boos because he moved the thing to Vegas. Right. It's like they think about the 180 the NFL did in like a 5 to 6 year span. Like, you can't gamble. You can't even have a fantasy football draft. Was it Tony Romo who tried to have a fantasy football draft in Vegas a couple of years ago and he got like banned for it? And now it's like, there's a team there. There's a game there. Like, there's in-game live betting. Yeah, that's
ridiculous. I've played fantasy football for 20 years and I've never gambled 5 cents at it. To me, it's all about the win. I mean, I know other people play differently, but I can't believe they just shut it down that way.
All right. Yeah. Well, Adam must be listening in on his drive back because he did send in his prediction. He said we will stick at number 9 if a stud defensive tackle or edge player is available. If not, then we'll trade down, and then who knows?
So I'm with Adam. That's my prediction as well. That's my prediction. So Brandon,
yes.
Clinton asked you prediction, and then you said what you want. Like, we know you love to switch the question around to something else. I've gotten used to that.
I was stalling a little bit because I'm kind of hoping that we get to hear the pick here, but my prediction that I put up on field goals is that with this year being kind of a strange year and what, the Seahawks doing unconventional things, this is the year that with the unconventional fact that they have a pick in the top 10, something that they haven't had back when Pete Carroll and John Schneider first started. It's the first time since then they've had a pick inside the top 10. So with us talking about that nightmare scenario option at number 9 in What If, it got me thinking about the idea of, well, Carolina, they're at number 6. Scott Fitterer was the co-director of player personnel with John Schneider, in Seattle with John Schneider. He wasn't co-director with John Schneider, but he was a co-director. So worked closely with him. Now he's in Carolina. Carolina picks at number 6. They don't have another pick until
it's one something, right?
Yeah, it's outside the top 100. So they need the extra picks. And moving from 9 to 6, it doesn't take a whole lot of draft capital. You can
give away your 3rd, you get back a 5th, right? And then you're in the 6th, right?
My scenario was you give up the 3rd, you pick swap in the 4th, so you move back in the 4th round. Carolina gets to move up a little earlier in the 4th round.
Okay.
And that would give them enough capital to move up into that number 6 spot. Kayvon Thibodeau, Oregon Trail man. He slips to number 6. The Seahawks move up and they get their pass rusher, a guy who was talked about as one of maybe the top pick just a couple months ago.
Sure. I thought that was a well thought out of all the different ones that were possible. I thought yours was well thought out. I like it. I don't anticipate it, but I'm going to be watching for it, and we'll give you virtual high fives if you get it. I'm with
Ryan
Adam.
Coming in with the $10 super chat, $10 closer to buying Russ's house. We may be able to buy a portion of the fence that surrounds the tree house in the backyard. Maybe just some of the rocks from his like the flower beds.
This is
Can we
Russ's
get a toilet
old
seat
house.
in one of the 12 bathrooms? A toilet seat, maybe.
Maybe for $10. I think for like 20, you can get the kind of toilet seat that doesn't slam down. The anti-gravity, they're really fancy. I call them anti-gravity toilet seats. Really, really fancy. I had one of those once. It was nice.
We know.
I did get to thinking, Brandon, I think I've solved how to put a lot of his shows together and what's really going to happen. Adam's been presenting this curse that's going to take place. Clinton had us going on the Oregon Trail and thinking about dysentery. I think the curse is Russell Wilson's going to get dysentery and he's going to need 12 toilets.
I love it. He has to use every single one. Yeah.
So Russ gets dysentery. We get Kayvon Thibodeau. It's all about the Oregon Trail here.
Absolutely.
That's the Oregon that I could be down with for sure.
I am hopeful that I do think the trade up to 6, at least it does make sense. I think, listen, hopefully, the thing you keep hearing is like, hey, you don't get in the top 10 too often. Hopefully, right? I mean, like if you're the Jaguars, yeah, you do. If you're the Lions, yeah, you do. If you're the Browns, for the last like 15 years or so, yeah, you do. But we don't, and I don't want this to become, as Adam would say, like one times, whatever Adam says about the one times this, one time, second time's a you problem, third time, et cetera, et cetera. I don't want this to be.
You butchered that, man.
I know. Well, he's not here, like Adam's on the road being like, he's definitely catfishing me on the road right now, by the way. He's like, dude, what'd you have? Like a half a beer? Like, no, I had a quarter of a beer. But the whole thing is, I want us to move up. I want us to be aggressive. It's like, I don't want to be in the top 10 too often. We got tons of capital next year. This is not that bad of an offense. I know we got a quarterback challenges. We'll see. I think we have sneaky good defense. We talked about sneaky good defense in the off season quite a bit. I don't think we're that bad of a team. I'm not saying we're gangbusters and Super Bowl contenders. I'm not, a Pollyanna, but I want to trade up, Brandon. You got me thinking after the What If show. I want to move up. I want to get one of the elite guys, man. I'm into it.
Thanks to Sam Somerville, one of the elite members of our chat right now.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, I like the idea of moving up. Amy says, go ahead and stick at 9. Raven asks if Adam's going to join in later. Yes, he is on the road, and he is planning on either pulling over and joining as the Seahawks pick, or just hauling tail home and joining in as soon as he gets there. So we are waiting for the Jaguars to pick. There is about 5 minutes on the clock. Josh DeHuman's coming in with $5. Sup, gentlemen? I believe they will trade down to the teens, get an offensive lineman or a linebacker, then trade back into the end of the first and get an edge or a quarterback. I think this makes a lot of sense too, just based off of historical precedents for the Seahawks, right? That they want to trade back, get a little bit extra capital. And this also makes sense if a lot of those top guys are off the board come the time that the Seahawks pick at 9. You know, we've talked about those elite corners, and maybe they don't want a corner. Maybe they see a corner farther down the board in the second or third round, guy, everybody's talking about Sauce Gardner, but Kobe Bryant out of Cincinnati, also a really good corner and an elite name as well. And he would be a fun corner to maybe go out and get. So they don't necessarily need to go corner. So if there's a run on defensive end, if there's a run on offensive lineman early, then they could go ahead and move back, pick that up, get their offensive lineman. I would say center, maybe linebacker. Devin Lloyd is a guy that I think we may have mentioned yesterday. If not, that's one of the top linebackers that could go relatively early. And getting back into the back end of the first could make a lot of sense.
I like Kyler Gordon later for a cornerback. That if no quarterbacks or receivers get taken before our pick, that makes me think that our best chance at a good tackle and our best chance at one of those top 4 elite pass rushers is going to be gone. Then I'm all down with trading down and get something good for next year, or trade down and get some better picks in this really, really loaded draft class because of the COVID and all. Everybody keeps saying, 2nd through 5th is just stuffed with tons of quality. So if we can get some more picks after trading down, I'll be excited about it. Make tomorrow and Saturday more fun. But I'm really, really hoping we can get a star tackle or especially a pass rusher at 9. Then we got to stick there. And maybe the only way to be sure of that is to go with Brandon's philosophy. I don't know what you were trying to add in there on that, Clinton.
Oh, I was going to give some love to Josh DeHuman just because he's been a good follow on Twitter throughout the mock process, man, throwing out mocks like every 2 times a day, and some interesting takes and really manipulating and moving around quite a bit. So nice to see Josh in here, and thank you for the super chat, Josh. But man, I gotta call the man out. He's been doing an awesome job out there. So a good follow is what I'm trying to say. So give Mr. Josh DeHuman a follow out on Twitter.
And it is
pick is in. Pick is in. Ryan mentioned with the super chat that you are now a professional draft analyst too, Phil. So that's exciting.
Congratulations, Phil.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know how this person has analyzed my ability to analyze, but that's pretty cool of him to say that. I feel like he's a professional analyst of analyzers. Maybe I've lost myself in the language of our.
It's all good.
Native land.
Stepping to the podium here.
Oh, I'm on a small delay, I bet.
Oh,
that's okay.
I know who it is. Oh
yeah, the pick is already in.
Travon Walker.
The pick is in. Travon Walker.
Defensive end out of Georgia. He's a guy that's been hyped a lot as being that potential first round pick. And
Georgia.
You know who I'm psyched for right now? I'm psyched for Aidan Hutchinson. First of all, whatever, he doesn't go 1.
He's
who
going
cares?
Lions big time, right?
But he gets to go play in Detroit, and I know that might not. Honestly, where would you rather play right now, Detroit or Jacksonville? Give me Detroit. They're building a better squad, and he went to
Michigan. Weather,
but he went to. I mean, he's a Michigan guy, right? So he is the not even the prodigal son. He didn't leave. He's just there. He's staying in Michigan, and
dead on.
That's going to be awesome. And I just think like it's going to be obviously going to take Hutchinson. He could try to go out there, not to take away from Travon Walker's moment. Good on him. That's amazing. But the dude slips 1 pick. He's going to end up with the Lions. And that's, I think it's a really cool story. I think he's going to sell a ton of jerseys, and the Lions are building a good team, man. So I dig it. I like it a lot.
Rob gets on here. He's going to say Jaguars. There's no doubt about it.
I can't stand that. Corbin Smith said that question. Yeah. Jaguars. Corbin Smith says that too. And I'm like, shut up. and I'm not yelling.
Jaguars? Jaguars.
He says like Jaguars. Yeah, Jaguars.
Okay, yeah. Adam says Jaguars.
Jaguars.
This is Jaguars, guys. It's Jaguar. It's a
Jaguar, but apparently the commish pronounces it Jaguars too.
Well, a boo earns to him, like you said earlier, Brandon. That's all.
Yeah, it's this is. I'm curious though. It makes a ton of sense, right, for the Lions to go ahead and pick Hutchinson here.
Oh yeah.
The big upset would be if they were to take a quarterback, but I just don't know if any of the dudes would even be.
They don't need one yet. I mean, it's like
there'll be an uprising.
Just don't need one yet. They're not winning the Super Bowl next year. Goff can win 6 to 7 games on a decent team. They got it. The offensive line's building. Now they're building their defensive line. They got DeAndre Swift. They got Amon-Ra, St. Brown last year. They're building a good squad. And what's the coach's name? Not Campbell, is it?
Dan Campbell in Detroit.
Dan Campbell, yeah. Dan Campbell's a good coach.
Let's get this straight. Since I'm pinching for Adam right now, he would have stopped you, maybe, I think, and said, Goff can win when he's got a genius, when he's got a genius coach in his ear telling him exactly what's going to happen and where to throw the ball. I don't know how he can do a Detroit without genius boy. Well, of course, he calls him frat boy. He might even have the respect to. I don't actually know what Adam would have said there, but I imagine he wouldn't have said Goff can just win with a decent roster. I don't know if he would have.
I didn't say he could win 10 games. I said 6 to 7. So
that's true. 17-game season.
My point being, like, they don't need a quarterback. It's frankly similar to, like, we don't need to go chase a quarterback right now. We're not. I don't think we're like that dude away, a rookie quarterback away from being Super Bowl contenders.
None of these rookies would elevate either of our teams. Really, it'd be more you're trying to prep for down the road. I would say.
I mean, we may all end up eating crow, right? Malik Willis might come out and be like 2x Lamar Jackson, right? And he might be that good. He might be. Or some of the other dudes too. I mean, it might all be fools. I remember when DK Metcalf was falling and my brother was
there it is.
Pick is in. There we go.
Pick is in.
I'm assuming it's Aidan.
Yeah, they made that pick so quick. I mean, the clock barely ticked down at all.
I mean,
just some time back.
Jersey sales alone, they just made
Aidan Hutchinson going to Detroit.
Good for him. Good for them. Good for that.
So are you guys both out on Ritter? You don't have any interest in Ritter at all, either one of you?
No, I do. I know he'd be in that 40-41 or maybe trade up to get into the first round. We got currently 4 picks in the top 75, right? That's what we have. Like we have a 72 or something like that, right? Yeah. I just want to take 3 to 4 really good players that maybe are not quarterback and just build the team. But whether that's one we trade up back into the first round and we have 3 in the top 70. I don't know. I'd rather get 3, draft 4 dudes, get 3 starters, draft 3 guys and get 3 starters. Our roster needs it, man. So, I'm into finding out what Drew Lock can do. I'm just kind of into that puzzle.
I'm happy for you on that one. Of course, if I start talking good about Ritter, then I know Adam's going to hurry up and get on here and kick me off of the broadcast because I hurt his feelings about it. I've never been so back and forth on one player like I have on Ritter. I hear one thing, I read one thing, I watch one thing, and I'm like, this guy, he might be pretty good. And then something else comes up, and I'm like, he might be stuck there. But one thing I would like to say about Ritter, everybody seems to be saying he's hit his ceiling. Because he can do this. How does anybody know? A lot of people thought Tom Brady hit his ceiling, and so that's why he was drafted in the 6th round. Who's to say he can't dial in some of that accuracy on his second read? He typically looks good on the first read. He typically has really good pocket awareness, and I think he makes good decisions. It's the accuracy seems to be a part of arm talent that maybe he doesn't have. Maybe that's what they mean by ceiling has been hit. But who's to say he can't get just the right coach that can help him dial that in a little bit? And really, his missed throws aren't worse. His missed throws aren't worse than any of these other guys. And most quarterbacks drafted, it's just that some of the missed throws look really bad, which makes you think he can't. But boy, his attitude, his winning mentality, how he's elevated that particular that particular school has me kind of interested in letting him come in to see what he could do. But not at 9. I would, no. But would be very intrigued. I'd be a lot more excited about seeing him than I would Drew Lock. That's just my take.
Northwest Vibes checking in says, I want Malik so bad, but blah, blah, blah.
I mean, that might be like I said, that might be the best take. We might get through this thing and a year later be like, what were people thinking not taking Malik? Like and I realize in the QB, and really it's happening all across the board. Travon Walker just went, his stats were not as good as Aidan Hutchinson's. Like they're just not, but like the freak athleticism is even more peak than Hutchinson. Right. So right. They take the gamble. I mean, bottom line is taking the freak athlete has paid off at quarterback. It has, like the Mahomeses and the Allens, right? It has worked out. So, we might all be sitting here two years later being like, how the heck did we not take Malik?
I could talk myself into Malik too, because if, John Schneider has been right on Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, and if he looks at him and says, you know what, I think that Malik Willis is the guy that I see that future for the Seahawks in, then yeah, I could see myself getting excited about it. I feel like it's unlikely.
Yeah,
I've heard interesting takes on Malik as to why he had so many sacks. I'm just tired of seeing a quarterback get a zillion sacks.
Yeah,
and a quarterback who doesn't really throw over the middle, and
it seems like a kind of a Russ 2.0, like even a faster, quicker Russ, but who doesn't have the great decision making over the middle and spins himself into sacks and all that said, if we get up at pick 9 and take Malik, that's it. That's our guy. That
means Schneider knows something, right?
Well, it just means I'm the biggest Malik, Willis fan in the entire universe. Like that's it.
Yes.
That's our dude, and then I'm behind that guy and I want him to be, like the 2X Lamar Jackson. Let's go. So,
and I'm totally cool with waiting a year to see him, for the other than preseason, really, if we take Malik.
Yeah. And I just wonder too, like maybe like it's not like we have that strong veteran presence, and I don't count Geno in that that category to sit there and be like, oh, go ahead and learn behind this guy. Like you're going to learn so much behind Geno. Maybe not. I don't know. Like I kind of feel like you take Malik, I'm okay with throwing him in like week 1. Let's go. You
don't wait.
No, you go 2-15. Then next year you take an offensive lineman. That's all.
It's all good. Stingley?
No, they took Stingley.
You now you're ahead of us. What's going on here?
They took Stingley 3rd.
No, I'm not shocked at all.
That's what Amy says.
Really?
Eric Stingley, LSU first.
Wow, I'm okay with that. I mean, I think Sauce is going to go anyway, but I mean, Stingley would have been nice if he fell there. But every time an offensive tackle doesn't get picked, it's like, every time a bell rings, like I get little wings here, right? I'm getting a little more buzz about, can we get one of the top 2 offensive tackles? And there's 3, but can we get really one of the top 2? So it will be interesting.
We win 42 writes in, says, I kind of feel like either the Seahawks go for Corral or the go is for Corral, but that's one I could kind of see too as a possibility. So he's not the guy that I have picked. Well, I told you guys who I had kind of pegged as
you like Thurston Howell the third, man. You like Thurston Howell.
I like Mr. Thurston Howell. Yeah. Get him in there with the skipper. And
well, you got Tyler Lockett. He's clearly the professor, right? So
sure, yeah.
Lockett's very professorial, so that's nice. Now that Bobby's gone for certain, right?
Yeah, Gilligan. Who would be Gilligan?
That's maybe what's his face? Ballore? Is Ballore Gilligan, or is he?
That was kind of where I was leaning. Was Ballore?
Ballore, right? Who's our skipper? Is that just Carroll, because it has to be, or
that'd be Pete, right?
Yeah, I guess so. All right, so we got our professor. I mean, how about Marianne or Ginger? That one's, well, John Ryan's no longer on the team, but he could have been our Ginger.
Oh, DK would be, yeah.
Oh, DK's Ginger, definitely.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It's definitely the best looking one.
Yeah, DK's Ginger. Well, I thought Marianne was the most attractive, but that's just, what do you like, right? What's your preference?
The pizzazz that he brings.
But
he's more of the
he is
the movie star good looks type.
Yeah.
You want the girl next door good looks for
So that's Penny. That's Rashad Penny.
Rashad.
His style has the girl next door to you. It's like a delightful.
That's hilarious.
Friendly fun. You just enjoy what he brings.
That's funny.
I wasn't really talking about his looks, but how his game looks
Gotcha.
Has an underrated beauty to it.
I like that. That's very nice. Very poetic there.
Yeah.
Very poetic.
Let's see that. All right. Are there anybody else from the crew that we're missing that we need to?
Yeah. Did we get everybody? Oh, how about Lovey? How about Lovey? Who's our Lovey, right? Thurston Howell's lovely wife, right? So,
I'll let you guys go on this. I've stolen too many choices.
Throw Lovey off the island.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure on that one either.
All
Who
right.
the Jets going with, guys? Who do you got on this one?
Well, see, this is where I thought the first corner would go.
I think Thibodeau.
Going to be Sauce.
I think Thibodeau. That's my guess.
Or they could go offensive line.
They only need a lineman if they're going to trade their tackle, though, right?
Well, they got Becton, right, on one side.
Becton might be up for trade, it sounds like. But.
Well, are they sold on George Fant still being on the right side, or one of the sides?
Fant's their right tackle, and then Becton is.
They just signed Becton last year, wasn't it, for big bucks? But now he's not getting along or something.
Yeah, apparently he's potentially on the trading block right now, and he was very injured last year, right? And he's like one of those, what is he, like 6'8"? He's just gigantic, and I think he's pretty good. It's just he might be one of those things where they're looking to trade him before like a giant contract comes down. They're like, are we going to pay this guy that kind of money? So that's what I heard too.
Okay. I thought they did pay him that kind of money.
I don't think so. I don't think Mekhi Becton's that old. I think he's still.
No, he would have just been coming into his first contract deal, right?
Yeah, that's what I think. I think he'd be like coming out of getting towards a second contract, or
that's what it is.
In that position where he's like, hey, I want to renegotiate and getting that kind of that way. But yeah. So
if they get Neal, then we know what's going down. Then we know we're going to trade DK for Becton and a first round from the Jets, right?
Don't be talking about a DK trade. We need to be talking about a Debo trade. Debo Samuel getting traded to the Jets. Get him out of the NFC West. That's what I want.
Anytime the idea of a DK trade comes up, there's this whole face that Brandon makes as he goes on to speak. And listen, I kind of agree. Yeah.
Well, Brandon's had a very difficult we all have, but Brandon's had a very difficult offseason. He just doesn't need to be, don't kick a dog while he's down type thing, right? Like Brandon's in a difficult emotional
Bobby Wagner,
exactly.
Cutting Bobby Wagner pushed me to the edge. DK would push me over the edge, and I don't need that. Okay.
And who knows who you'd be podcasting for next week if DK gets traded tonight, right?
The Jets pick is in. Josh DeHuman's breaking it in the chat there. He's saying
probably Neal, huh?
He's saying it's a saucy kind of life.
Okay. It was gonna be Sauce or Neal.
2 corners back to back.
We're gonna be tipping picks in here. I think that's fine.
Oh, I mean, it's
they're watching
it regardless, right? So it's
it hasn't come across on ESPN yet, but
no, ESPN hasn't binged it yet. I was gonna.
The Jets are slapping hands and everything else. I guess they're about to hit the podium. But yeah, I mean, if people are driving, I'm not going to police people, I suppose, right, and stop people from if they know who's in, then they know who's in. So,
and then they could put it in the chat. I guess we could.
I'm not doing it, Brandon. I'm not doing
it. Okay.
I'm not going to narc on my guys.
My TV is behind you guys because I'm watching it on Dish Anywhere, but my ESPN keeps binging different things. So.
Josh DeHuman points out that a good thing here because these 2 corners were exciting. I would have been happy if they fell to 9 and the Seahawks got either one of them. But the idea of Ekwonu and Neal falling, that also makes me kind of happy too. I know I said on the last show that I wouldn't be excited because offensive linemen, they're not exciting, sexy picks to me. Maybe the new offensive lineman can be Lovey.
Well,
I love it.
I want Kyler Gordon. I want Kyler Gordon later in the draft as our cornerback. So I'm glad that these corners went at this point. But that's just me.
I just look at our history. Like, where do we have a much better history, coaching people up? Our secondary or our offensive line? That there's not a, it's a 180. It's very, very opposite of each other. We have not been good about coaching up our offensive line and trial people. And even George Fant, who he's a good right tackle, but that's the one where you take the risk, you draft a dude, you give him years in your system, and then you let him walk for $10 million. And now he's a good right tackle. It's like, great. If that's what we're going to do with like a project, no thanks. Just give me the blue chip,
Yeah. That was brutal.
Daniel Weinholtz says, I'd be happy with offensive line or defensive line at 9.
True.
That said, we'll probably take a running back for Jeff.
and he'll be good in his 4th year after we decline the 5th-year option with 5 games to go. Perfect.
See, this is how damaged we are after all these Seahawks drafts of not drafting in the top 15. See, we've been able to have it good for a while, for all these years, and drafting at the end of the first round. And so now we're jaded whenever it comes to the draft that they're always going to do these wild things.
Yep, that's exactly.
It's been a while, but when we've drafted in the top 10, they've been good players.
Yeah, and I was listening to. I forget who it was, but recently. But the other thing we've been very good at, is when we move up in the second round. We've been very, very successful when it's like we get a target and we're like, we don't want to take a risk. We move up in the second. Damn, we've been money there. So
almost every move up period, third round,
right,
Tyler,
yeah.
Almost all of our moves up, but
right,
second
Tyler,
often. You're right, but almost all our moves up have been good.
Correct. I forgot Tyler was he pick 69? I want to say
69. Yeah,
that's it.
They got the $69 million contract.
Oh, that's right.
Look who it is.
Hey, there he is. What's up, dude?
Looks very safe.
I just wanted to hop in real quick before I run out of range on my trip over the hill to the cabin. Never Ritter, ever. Please, God, Phil, please don't make that happen for us. Out of all these guys, I would take Corral. I think that's probably where things are as far as the quarterbacks go. But I'm not excited about it. I'm with Clinton on that. Let's take him, day 3 if we could. I don't know that he'll be there, but I wouldn't take him too terribly much higher. I think the only guy that's worth a first-round pick would be Willis, and he's only worth a first-round pick because he has the ceiling of a first-round pick guy. None of the other guys do. Now, can he get there? I have no clue. You guys are all saying, I wouldn't mind waiting a year to see Malik out on the field. You're going to have to wait 2 or 3. Like, he is so freaking raw. I'd rather take an offensive lineman or a D tackle or an edge guy here with 9 if we get the chance. We'll see, I guess. I don't know. I mean, the corners are obviously going to be gone.
Yeah, they're gone. That's it. They're gone already.
Already gone.
Hey, Adam, as you're driving, I noticed on your back window of your car there, that's an awesome Pound Never Ritter bumper sticker. Is that blue and red, Pound Never Ritter?
Yeah, I actually got that one just yesterday. The problem is it's only about 7 inches long. I got one ordered up now that's going to cover the whole back window.
You're going to put a flag in the back of your truck, Pound Never Ritter flag?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. No, I'm definitely flag in the back of the truck guy. That's who I am. Yeah.
That's definitely you love the extra attention on you for the sake of attention. That's the guy you are.
That's who I am. And so that's why I chimed in here for 10 minutes before I go out of range, because it's all about me, and it made it tough listening to you guys talk about this stuff without me. So, all right, I'm getting off. I'm going to hurry. And
all right.
I will catch you guys here in a second.
All right. Pedal to the metal, dude.
Cool.
All right. Yeah.
Peace.
Josh DeHuman says Ekwonu is a strong junkyard dog and Neal is a physical freak, polished warrior. I would love either. The Giants pick is in. And I see Beast Mode 24 in the Discord saying Evan Neal.
Oh, that would be good for them.
That would make a lot of sense.
Oh, no.
Kind of stink for us, but I don't
blame
them.
That's the first sad one for me, because I didn't expect any of these. Well, and I was happy for the corners to go, even though I'd have been fine with getting them.
But is it true? I don't see it, over the wire.
Neil's
just yet.
one of my main 3 that I'm hoping we can sneak in here.
I know
Yeah,
this is good.
I only have, and Beast Mode 24 over in Germany. Can he be tipping picks all the way?
Well, he's ahead of us, so
True,
he knows about the whole
time zone. Yep.
That's just math. He knows about the whole
He's
thing.
in Friday. Remember, it's already Friday there, is it not?
Right. That's accurate.
Oh, Josh DeHuman saying no. Cave on to the Giants.
Oh,
No?
There goes Brandon's play.
No, I mean, we might just be having
actually
people calling
Kevin.
their
He
shots
says
here.
Kevon.
yeah,
So
Kevon.
it's not Kevon,
Yeah. but then he did correct it in the chat there. He went with the Kevon. A few. There it is.
There it is. It's that. Yeah, it happens all the time. You type into these things, and they're determined to make you misspell what you tried to spell.
Yeah. No, that's.
I had to teach all my devices how to respell the word Brandon, because every time I type it, it changes it.
Yeah,
Well,
it
that's-
autocorrects to the ON.
Yeah, that's Brandon's
Yes,
fault.
in the chat pointing out that the Giants didn't give the 5th-year option to Daniel Jones, which, I mean, it makes a ton of sense. But yeah, they could be a team that goes quarterback here at the start of the 2nd round, maybe. They could use some competition there, although I think the Giants need help all over. That it probably wouldn't hurt them to hold off a year either on picking a quarterback.
All right, but I'm getting the sleeper app is telling me that Josh DeHuman is telling us that he's right. That is accurate from what I could see. So, by the way, I love the sleeper app. I play sleeper fantasy, or play fantasy football on Sleeper, and that was actually Ross Bell a couple of years ago in the Seahawks Pod Ring of Honor. Seahawks, fantasy stuff. He started going, and he's like, "Oh, there's a new app called Sleeper 2 years ago." And by the way, if you play fantasy football, Sleeper is so good, and then you get the benefit of like their notifications beat everybody. They're ahead of ESPN. They're ahead of Bleacher Report, like usually minutes ahead. It's insane during the season. So there's our plug. Man, Kayvon's good, dude. So our Oregon Trail dream just
died.
We tried to ford the river. We got bit by a snake, and yes, we died of dysentery.
It was a lot to expect that we were going to be able to.
It means there's still 2 offensive tackles on the board, guys. So we're about
to get so crushed right here, right? So
now our Oregon Trail dream has died, but
yeah.
Listen, the 6th pick is where we talked about moving up. Right?
Always happens.
Hey, it's I always thought the prospect of getting Thibodeau falling that far, I always thought it was 1 in 10% chance or less. So no shock.
No, it was more whether we could get to 6, and I was starting to believe in Brandon's idea here, and that just went down the drain.
Yeah, you know what? I'm with this. Screw Kayvon. If he wanted to be drafted by the Rams, you don't want him anymore.
Get him
as far from Seattle as possible. Send him to New York. He can stink with the Giants.
All he's going to care about is his business anyway. He's not going to care about football. He's going to get into Bitcoin and a bunch of stuff, and he's going to not learn his playbook. So we're going to be we were able to escape. We escaped a problem.
He's going to be a partial owner of Twitter with Sir Elon Musk, and away he goes on a Dogecoin rocket to the moon. Right? That's where Kayvon's going.
He might also end up being really good at football too, though.
Yeah, he might get 14 sacks.
He will. He's got the TJ Watt ceiling, is what I'm sad about.
Well, this man can dress. Tell you that much. If you're watching him walk up to the podium, he's got, as they say, he's got that drip. So good for Kayvon.
And he's
going to run some companies.
Cool guy. I don't know if you heard him on Around the NFL, but he was on the Around the NFL podcast here recently, and seems just like a genuine good dude.
Yeah, like
he's
talked
about. He's going to run some businesses. He's going to run some serious companies,
and that's the distraction. He's too much of a businessman, right? It's like you said, Brandon, about the DK stuff that made him fall. Like he's not focused on football, until he has 16.5 sacks next year, and then we're crying in our soup again.
Yeah, his intelligence is too intimidating to some of these gentlemen.
Yeah. He wants to start all these startups that will change the world. He's not. Okay, can he
shut up and rush the passer?
Exactly.
Right?
Play your hits, dude. Just play Freebird, man. Right? So, dude.
I am missing a lot of the handshakes, though. See, that's one of the things that I like to watch for when the guys are coming up on stage. And man, whoever announced this pick is fired up.
You must be you're like a half an hour behind. You're what's the opposite of Germany?
Do I need to skip ahead? It says I'm live.
You're maybe.
Oh no! I heard the guy announce the pick, but did you see him jumping around on stage after?
Yeah, I saw him. He could look like a little like Eli, like a short Eli Manning. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Are you watching on cable? Are you watching on cable, Brandon? Or are you on like a?
I'm on my phone.
Are you streaming?
Oh, okay. Because
so you're
Kayvon
probably
Thibodeau.
with me. I'm sure Clinton's ahead of us.
And I'm a little still on my stream here, but Kayvon Thibodeau had a longer walk up to the ring than Apollo Creed in the first Rocky. So that was you got a long way to go before you see him in the sequence tux that he's wearing, which is again quite nice. Yes, I see Ryan saying it's getting close now. He's right.
Pete,
well, it's really
Pete
close.
Put out another song called New Rules. New Rules.
Is that I think he said Dua Lipa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what that means or refers to, but
I don't even have a guess on that one. I'm just hoping that, well, I don't know what I'm hoping for at this point. I would like Neil, maybe Icky. I was getting excited about Icky, and then I listened to some of what Rob Staten had to say about him, and he's basically going to be a really good guard. And I'm like, we have some guards. I don't want to get a guard at 9.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, the other piece of it too is like the opposite side of that I heard about Ekwonu is like, no, he's the most athletic, and their system, they would do cross formation pulling of their tackles because he was so athletic, not just like, sweep left stuff, like literally cross formation across the face of the quarterback back the other way because he was that athletic. So I don't think so. I mean, again, I'm no expert, but like hearing other people talk about that, they're like, no, he's got the athleticism to play left tackle, Ekwonu. So I don't know. I think I think we're A-okay there. And Pete Carroll does have one more clue out right now. It just says Beautiful by Snoop Dogg. I don't know that Snoop Dogg song, so I'm not sure if I'm not sure how to be too far in.
Pull up the lyrics to Beautiful?
Yeah.
That means we're trading in, doesn't it, Brandon? Beautiful.
It should. Well, it says the Panthers pick is in, so I think
okay. So they're what your plan.
Made a selection.
Oh no.
Isn't this fun though? This is cool. We haven't been able to enjoy early first round.
I know, it's like Daniel was saying. We got
this ain't bad. This ain't bad.
It's a different part of being a fan that we haven't had a chance to enjoy in a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, so, sucking has its benefits, right? So this is one.
We would have been picked 10 and 9, if we didn't have the safety. We'd be really getting it.
I know, but we have a great safety combination, and he's going to be unleashed this year in a different way in the Clint Hurt defense, and we're going to be very excited about it. Yeah, man, we got Sean Desai. Exactly. It's going to be. I'm excited for our DBs, man. I mean, again, I keep saying the words sneaky good defense. I mean, hopefully we get to add to it here in a few picks.
Now I'm seeing this super cheer in there, Clinton.
What we got?
Newman saying Ekwonu to the Panthers.
Oh boy.
So don't worry about Icky then.
So
Neil is still there.
Man, the Giants are going to take Neil.
The Giants need a tackle pretty bad too.
The Giants are going to get out of here.
Wait. They need a receiver. They're not going to get another.
They're not taking a receiver. I just no.
Get a receiver. They want a receiver, Clinton.
I like you putting it into the multiverse there, Phil. But in this version of it, I'm telling you, I think we're snake bitten if we don't try to jump in. And if I'm the Giants, man, I'm rushing to the podium to take Evan.
Are their tackles really bad? I mean, you live there.
They got one okay tackle, right? Is that Thomas? Do I have that right? Andrew. They need help. They could use a tackle. Their offensive line is not good.
So we still have Jermaine Johnson on the board.
Yes.
That's Evan Neal on the board.
Yep, those are the ones.
Those are the two, and then it becomes like Cross.
If they're both gone, let's trade.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what you guys are.
That's what we were talking about.
I do have the lyrics to "Beautiful" by Snoop Dogg.
Okay.
Long hair with your big fat booty. Who does?
Okay, I got it. I got it.
Drinking, you timed it, Brandon. Yeah, long hair. Who's got the long hair? Okay, you found the big clue there.
Long hair with your big fat booty. That's amazing.
Does Neil have? No, that's it. Jordan Davis doesn't have long hair, right?
I'm at a loss. That's amazing.
Let's see.
That's so
Jordan
great.
Davis. Jordan Davis has like mid-range hair dreads.
Oh, I think that would count. I think that would
And
count.
he has a big backside.
Yeah, he would have the biggest booty of the bunch.
Yeah, so
I think
We're
that's
talking-
it. I think
Jordan
we
Davis?
figured it out.
yeah. Jordan Davis, he's got the mid-range hair. Sticks out, hangs a
He
little
is
bit.
6'6", 360 pounds. So that's something, you know.
I'm not
ridiculous.
ready to snag him at 9 though.
But if we
I
do,
don't know if you're going to be able to get him later.
So then what? Thigh arms goes to
Thigh arms is 45.
you can't tell.
What's
by
wrong with 45, Brandon?
Thigh arms is he's getting up in age. You can tell by the rings in the tree when you slice into his arms.
My
But
wife happens to really like 45, guys.
okay, all right, there you go.
Don't
You look-
critique me on my delivery, Bill. I did just fine with that delivery. You
Yes.
try getting through the lyrics of that with a straight face.
Yeah. Well, you waited right till Clinton was having a sip from his
Yeah,
bottle. That was
yeah.
well timed. That was
I
perfect.
did time that.
That
well.
was the beautiful part.
That was good
Yeah.
on me.
Yeah, I nearly lost it. All right, so Ikwanu's gone is what we're hearing here, right? So, all right.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
it's Neal or Johnson or trade down, I think. But maybe it will be that we go with the beautiful decision for Jordan Davis.
Oh man, I hope one of these next two teams makes a mistake.
I would love to have Neal. Could you imagine? Brandon will be sitting there going, "Okay, we got to tackle," and I'll be like
Alright, we
jumping
gotta
around the
tackle.
rooms.
How exciting!
Yeah, dude, if
Oh.
the Giants walk
Bro.
out of here with Thibodeau and Neal, I'm not rooting for it. I'm just
That's
saying that's a
big
freaking
grab.
it's a haul. That
That was
is
pretty
a haul.
clever how they worked this out to get 5 and 7.
Yeah, look at that. Look how they did it.
Oh, now Geese Mode 24 in the Discord saying kneel to the Giants.
But he was
course.
wrong last time, right?
Is that the one that was wrong?
Was
That's
it?
Christopher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He had said.
Maybe
I think he's just
predicting. And
I think
He's
he's
just
predicting
predicting. Oh yeah, that's right. He said Evan Neal back when.
with confidence, mind you. Like the Germans. He's a very confident German.
Oh, Devin Lloyd has longer hair. I don't know if he has the big booty though.
I don't really
he's supposed
want.
to be a really, really fast,
Yeah,
excellent
but
against the passes over the middle. Also a good
cool.
pass rusher.
Yeah, but does he block for running and protecting the quarterback? No.
No.
I want Jermaine Johnson or Evan Neal. And my heart's
I have to say,
my heart's gonna be about to be broken, boys. It's coming.
I
It's
love
coming.
the way that Lloyd is spelled though. The 2 L's, I've always been partial to the 2 L's.
Oh
You
yeah.
like Wells, yeah.
Oh yeah. I think that's how you got to spell it.
That's the best one.
I mean, I realize you don't have to spell it that way, but double L Lloyd is the way to spell Lloyd.
I mean, a lot of last names would be improved with a double L. Lawson. If you started going with the double L's.
I like that idea.
Corey saying get Davis at 9, Ebiketie at 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, Penn State. You want a big man that moves people from Penn State, Ebiketie? Okay.
Are we sure, Ebiketie? That's the way to say it.
I'm gonna say it that way.
Are we sold on that? Okay.
I haven't seen a pronunciation guide yet, so
Yeah, I don't know if it's Ebiketie, but I think Ebiketie. Ebiketie seems.
I feel like that's
He
what
looks good. Yeah.
Yeah, that feels.
We get Lloyd. We know how to say it.
Lloyd.
And Davis, obviously. Just
Oh,
it's like
I
we
don't
have
think
these.
it takes that much research to find out which one has the biggest backside. I think you go with the dude who's 360 pounds.
Yeah, 6'6",
So here's
360.
my problem with Davis, and it's probably who we're going to get. But here's my problem: we have needs at the four most important positions in NFL football. We have needs there. We have a top 9 pick. Let's go pick a guy that plays the same position as one of our highest paid defenders.
No, the highest paid player, Poona Ford. Yeah.
For cap hit, active player, Poona, the highest paid player. Let's draft number 9 there when we need corner, kind of. We really need defensive end for a top level guy. And we don't even have an offensive tackle who's played more than 5 games. So I'm a little bummed, but I do see him being a difference maker. So I get all that. It's just it's shocking to me that might be what happens, given the fact that we were set up to get a blue chip at one of the key positions.
Yeah,
it would. I could understand the frustration with that, and I think with him not being really considered as potential pass rush type guy too, that's where it would be frustrating. But if you think about the thing that I don't have a good beat on is with that Georgia defense, there's always like one guy who can make everything work, right? And it's, especially on the defensive line. And so is a guy like Travon Walker, was he the number one pick because of a guy like Davis in the center of the line that just made some of those other things possible for?
Well, it's an iconic, they're already saying like iconic college defense, right? So to your point, or a dude on like a Florida State team that was not nearly as riddled with, in a good way, with talent around him, who still got 14 sacks this year in Jermaine Johnson, right? So,
yeah,
great point.
I want Jermaine Johnson. I mean, I will be stoked if he doesn't go here.
Yep. So we're getting word here that Neil is off the board, boys.
Yeah.
On my phone, Raj is at the podium and he's announcing Neil.
Okay, yeah. My phone's now synced with your phone. Your phone caught up.
I caught up.
You must have changed locations.
I backed out of the app. I got back in.
You must have went east while we were not closer to Christopher. Beast mode.
Now the Falcons run a 4-3, right, guys? So maybe Johnson isn't a great fit there, I'm hoping.
Listen, I just hope the Atlanta
Falcons protect
Falcons
this thing.
Yeah, I think the Atlanta Falcons. Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, Brandon, do you got that picture of Doctor Strange holding up the one to Tony Stark? If we could put that on the board, we need one mistake.
And we need the Falcons to make it. We
exactly
need Matt Ryan to throw a couple passes rather than running the ball right now.
Well, he's not on the team anymore, bro.
Or you just talking about you can't count on him?
We can't count on him to
the
mess
Falcons
it up.
Want a quarterback, guys. They need a quarterback, right?
Well, they do need a wide receiver. Well, they do need some receivers because
because they got one guy that was gambling.
Ridley was suspended.
Yeah. And by the way, you could have a draft in Vegas and you could gamble every single play of the NFL.
That's so duplicitous.
But God forbid a player not playing that year bets a little Scott-Ole on a team while he's not playing. Well, that you cannot do. So
yeah,
we get into the
hypocrisy of it. We get into the hypocrisy of the NFL.
Well, if you listen to What If with Phil and Clinton and me, I think we were prepared for this disappointment together.
We literally called it the nightmare scenario, which is
I have it on my paper right here. This was the one I was worried about. And we're down to just one of the 8 that I said I hope isn't gone.
Somebody please put up the Doctor Strange, right? He's holding
Delwyn in the Discord has the Believe sign with
the kitty
with Coach
okay.
The coach from the soccer coach.
Yeah, with the mustache, with the funny guy,
right?
Yeah, the funny guy, the HBO show,
Apple Plus show,
Apple Plus, Apple Plus, yeah. Ted Lasso.
There we go.
I don't have Apple Plus. I heard it's a great show.
Oh, you haven't even watched it yet?
I probably will never watch it. I don't have Apple Plus, man, and I'm not paying for one more dang service. I don't have HBO Max. I don't have Paramount Plus. I ain't doing it.
Now we have people coming through on the chat helping us out with Ted Lasso. Finally.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Falcons, 5 minutes on the clock still.
Yeah, I see that. So if the Falcons take Johnson, which
trade back.
I'm not
trade back.
We trade. That's what I'm on team trade back. I don't want to take Davis in the long hair quite yet. Trade back, take Davis. Because the one that's going to probably take Davis before us would be Washington, right? Or
yeah, maybe. I mean, I think lots of teams would start salivating over the biggest, defensive tackle.
Baltimore was one that I heard might be really interested in Davis.
Oh,
it's got to be. That draft clue tipped it for me. He has the long hair.
I'm kind of going to be bummed, guys.
Get ready for it, Phil.
I want to be happy, but if Johnson is gone, then I'm going to be just hoping that we trade down because, I mean, Davis, maybe you'll be a generational talent, and you guys can start selling me on it. It's just weird when we have two really good players at that position.
Oh man! All right, it says we are on the clock. Uh-oh, what's this? What's this by Thad? What's the by Jess? What's going on? Flying blind here, man. I'm waiting for the update.
There's a trade. The Falcons and the Colts. Oh no, they're flashing back to saying because they're
okay. Greg Bell says it's getting really likely we're going to trade down, but
I looked at my phone and it said trade with the Falcons and Colts, and then I saw Matt Ryan and that trade already.
That's the one, right? Oh man, getting a little nervous, fellas.
Falcons take London.
What? They took Drake London? Dude.
Okay.
Can we
go.
Can we please take Jermaine
Johnson?
Please.
It'll be Cross or Johnson. It's Cross or Johnson, but
just take Johnson.
But I want Johnson.
The
guy can be.
We cut our best pass rusher. We need one. Like, this is my plea, like.
Have you watched Johnson? I mean, he is a stud.
Yeah, man. This is the guy I've been talking about. This is the guy that I wanted all this time.
Yeah. This has been my
This is the guy. Like, this is the dude. Come on.
He's a long 6'5", 254 pounds. Got a great first step and quickness.
Did you hear that he has a big booty? I heard that recently. I didn't know where I heard it, but I heard that.
He's fit. The
dude is svelte. Let's Google Johnson's booty size.
Careful. You might end up on the dark web there, Brandon, with a Google search like that.
Dude, he averaged 61 snaps a game last year, and even when the Seminoles were out, he kept putting in max effort throughout, is what they wrote on. I've liked everything that I've read or heard about him. There's Adam. Are we going to get Jermaine Johnson?
Sure. Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't they? That's exactly what's happening. What's happening?
We're on the clock. Jermaine Johnson is left. He didn't get taken. So that's our only hope of a premier pass rusher.
At least of the top 4 guys considered to be in the draft. Now, there's some other guys farther down.
Sweet, man. Yeah.
Right? Just a badass edge guy that could come in and just be like really disruptive and come on.
But I don't know, and I say but with emphasis. We were reading into Pete Carroll's draft day clues, and "Beautiful" by Snoop Dogg was one of the clues.
So there's the chance it's Davis, and I'm gonna have to leave. I think if that's what happens.
Long hair with a big booty.
Oh, but are any of the running backs off the board yet? Like that could be what ends up happening here. Just a big FU to everybody.
Kenneth Walker, old school football. It comes up with a leather helmet to the stage.
Exactly, man. Yeah.
Why not?
Jermaine Johnson is built very similar to TJ Watt. Got that great first step, really good in a 3-4 outside.
Looks good in a gold jacket. I don't know, that all. What? No, is this real?
I don't know.
I don't know.
What is what real?
It's Gambling Goat saying that we traded out. So it.
What did the Falcons do just before us?
They took Drake London, the wide receiver.
Big receiver.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which I was hoping. So we're going to trade down and take Penning or Davis or Johnson. I mean, why wouldn't we take Johnson?
Please, no.
We're not taking a big booty tight end, Ryan.
Big booty tight end.
Not a big booty tight end.
Yeah, big booty tight end. My man coming in hot.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I've been on pins and needles waiting to hop in here with you guys. It's been weird listening to y'all as I was driving there. But so like Phil, on a scale of 1 to 10, like, how heartbroken are you going to be when it's not your boy Johnson? Like, because I think you have a crush on Johnson.
Oh, I'm with Clinton and a lot of other 12s out there. I mean, I think we represent thousands, hoping there was a slight chance Jermaine Johnson would fall to 9, and here it is. So, and I'm a very positive guy. I always try to go that route, but this might be the pick that just bites us in the back of the brain for years when he goes and gets TJ Watt Watt type statistics in the next couple of years if we don't take him.
So that sounds like a 10.
So of course, the Seahawks pick is in. You can always count on ESPN to go to commercial right about the time that the Seahawks are making a pick.
Yeah, every single time. This is like back in the 90s when you couldn't get any NFL stuff, like period. Like, and then like ESPN primetime would be like the last minute and a half, be like, oh, and the Broncos beat the Seahawks 28-14. And it like shows like one John L. Williams run. And I was happy about that. I was like, oh, look, he broke a tackle. And we lost. But they always do this to the Seahawks, man. Even when we were like the best team in the league, they did this crap. So,
yeah. Oh, to answer Andy's question, if he couldn't see, just a classic Swisher Sweet, a victory cigar for the next Ring of Honor Hall of Famer All Pro that we're about to draft here in the next minute.
Wow. And I want to, you're smoking a cigar. Good for you. I can't smoke a cigar in my house, and I just don't smoke cigars often. However, I did save a victory meatball. You guys can't really see it, but I've got a blurry ball. I've got a victory meatball right there waiting, and it's the tri meat. So you got the veal, you got the pork, you got the beef, you got the tri meat, and I'm waiting. And if we get the right pick, I'm going to eat that meatball. And if we don't,
what does it say? I can't read.
I can't see. What is it?
Charles Cross, according to Condota.
Well, that's according to someone said that Mike Silver misread a text.
Yeah, is that a bread?
Condota.
And so we're
hopefully that's wrong.
It could be wrong. Now, one of the other lyrics from Beautiful is I just had it here. Where'd it go? On the east side, that's the crew I choose. So could it be somebody from the East Coast?
Ooh.
Johnson would fit that.
Johnson's East Coast, Pickett's East Coast, and
no.
No,
I don't want Lesser Baker. No, thank you. I'm good on that.
Oh man, I hope. I mean, listen, Cross was I could live with that. I could live with taking an offensive tackle who's probably pretty good. That was my
good pass protector.
But I really, really was hoping we get an edge guy. But you know what? Let's just see how this plays out.
Hey, if it's a trenches either way, I'm stoked.
Yeah, you know what, Adam, I think you're right. If it's trenches either way, you're stoked, and I'm stoked.
I am right about me being stoked. You're right.
Yeah. You're a guy like you.
Yeah. I tend to agree with me.
It doesn't say East Coast in the lyrics. It just says East Side. So I think Pittsburgh would be considered East Side.
We got Josh DeHuman telling us it's Cross.
Oh, now official by Breer. Cross to the Hawks.
Okay. Well, I can't be too pissed off at a huge offensive.
There's a few guys that say good things about Cross. At least it's a position we really need.
I'm a little surprised there's been no movement here.
I was a little disappointed when I saw the Icky guy came off the board. He seemed like a monster, man. That would have been cool. I don't know anything about this Cross dude. Like, I mean, apparently he's one of the better left tackles. Yeah. I mean, like, how is he in run blocking? Everybody talks about
pass pro.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be an awesome pass pro guy.
They don't run the ball.
Yep.
So he just doesn't have a whole lot of experience with it.
I see. Where's he out of?
It's is Washington? Where's Cross? Where was Cross from?
He is in state.
Yeah. Charles Cross, Mississippi State.
Oh, Mississippi State. I'm way off.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's a Mike Leach style offense that they run.
Oh.
Throw it, and then throw it, and then throw it again.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Air raid. All right.
Yeah.
Pass pro rating of 1. Top exceptional pass protector. No information on his run blocking.
All right.
Hey, it would make all the sense in the world that they went out and got an amazing pass protecting left tackle, a young one, the year that we just
Russ, we got the pass protecting left tackle.
Wouldn't that just be like a little bit of an FU, kind of like shot across Russ's bow in a way?
How do you like that, Russ?
Yeah,
I like it. I like it anyway because they need offensive line, and I kind of like it for that too.
I guess that means no Dwayne Brown coming back. He can go.
Maybe you never know. Maybe Cross can go goofy and go to the right side. Maybe that's one of his things. And we bring Dwayne Brown back and give him one more year. I wouldn't rule that out. Is what all I'm saying.
This Cross is good. I'm looking at a few other places. He's good at zone blocking scheme for run.
We do that
very
now.
Agile, has good length to reach and seal off the D liner. So
there he is.
Fires out of his stance quickly.
He doesn't have a jacket that fits. The buttons are a little tight. He could use it.
He can't get in his pants. He's got a big booty and long hair. Right?
He's a big dude. He's a big man. There's no doubt about it. He's got a saunter to him.
Let's see what PFF says here. Cross was a former top recruit who was thrown into the fire in a big way when Mike Leach took over in 2020. Oh, they do have Mike Leach as a coach.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. You had that right.
He went from 11 pass blocking snaps in 2019 to 574 in 2020. Struggled a bit, understandably, allowing 44 pressures. But as a redshirt sophomore in 2021, Cross showed up a different animal. He only allowed 16 pressures, and his run blocking prowess took a gigantic step forward. He still hasn't done a ton of NFL concepts in the run game, which should be a steep learning curve in the league. And positional rank to PFF, they actually had Cross as their number one offensive tackle.
And they watch every snap. So
they watch every snap. Big board rank number 3, so they had him as their number 3 guy on the board. And they compare him to gas mask bong man himself, Laramie Tunsil.
Hey,
well, PFF likes him. He's got to be great. I've just decided that PFF knows what they're talking about, so I can enjoy this pick.
Listen, I remember being, shocked and dismayed and like, who about Jordan Brooks a couple of years ago. And that guy got an all-pro vote last year, and he's a really good linebacker. Oh, yeah. So, I guess a little trust but verify. And hey, offensive tackle is a clear freaking position that we definitely needed. And it's a deep edge class. I would have liked Jermaine Johnson, but now this is our guy. Go ahead. Go be friggin' awesome, right? So I'm cool with it.
Well, a ton of people were mocking him to us, so it wasn't a total surprise.
Right. Oh, yeah, no, totally.
What were you saying, Adam?
Oh, I'm just curious, to fit in with Seattle Seahawks offensive line culture, how many just inexplicable false starts or, holds and things like that does Cross do? Because he's going to have a fair amount of FU Affetti moments to fit in as a Seahawks offensive lineman first round pick.
Well, that was Trevor Penning that was supposed to get all the penalties for us. And this was supposed to be the less penalized, disciplined pass protector.
Yeah, that won't work. Yeah.
Can he be Russell Okung for us again? Do we think that?
Yeah.
It is official. It's
official. All right.
He's ready to get the hat on, the whole thing.
Yeah, I saw him with the hat. He looks svelte, actually.
Well, he's jacked. Yeah.
Amy said he has a really nice smile. So.
He does have a nice smile. I saw that too.
Okay. Well, if it is a draft that's
stop
deep
showing old trades on ESPN. I have Jets Seahawks trade. I'm thinking, wow, they're back in the top 10 again.
Jets Seahawks trade.
Yeah.
No, this is the pick that Jamal got traded. That was part of the Jamal trade.
So there's only a few
we're done
positions.
For the day. Or we're gonna. I'm sorry, Adam. Everybody's bumping. Every time you try to say something, we all jump in. Go ahead.
Hey, it's tough in a 4-man box, man. We're figuring it out. We got.
I'll get out of here shortly.
No, you're fine, man. It's a me problem. I was the one late to the game, and I can't seem to get the rhythm here. But look, the top of the draft is a place where you can get those few coveted positions that the Seahawks haven't been in a position to take for how long, right? Whether that's tackle or an edge defender or corner or quarterback, right? Yep. So for them to go out and get one of those super coveted position groups taken care of at 9 with a guy who grades out well via PFF because they're geniuses and know everything. This is great. Now, what I do hope is that what's going on outside my window here is not an omen because it immediately started snowing buckets the second this pick was made.
Snowing? Yikes.
Yeah.
That's Russell Wilson sending bad vibes once we finally got a great top pass protector.
Yeah,
but he is in
yeah.
the SEC. He deals with all the best pass rushers, and he's held up well. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good
Well,
sign.
just looking at his 2021 stats, 719 pass blocking snaps, 2 sacks, 0 hits, although I think that's because they don't count, sacks are hits, but 0 hits that weren't sacks, and 14 hurries. So 14 hurries and 719 snaps. Now, one of the things that was pointed out in the Mike Leach offense, the quarterback gets rid of the ball quickly. So it does provide the benefit to the offensive lineman. And that's where, some of the concern was with Cross is that they get rid of the ball so quick. The offense gets rid of the ball so quickly that it can make it difficult to judge that as accurately as maybe a pro style offense.
Well, could Shane do that? Can't Shane have us get the ball out quickly?
Well, I think that's literally like the offense he wants to run, right? Like that. And I was going to say, we no longer, for better and maybe for worse, have a quarterback that wants to hold on to the ball and take 35-yard plus shots down the sidelines. So, but the good point about bringing up Shane, the main brain Waldron there is like, maybe this is part of his influence too. Like, hey, the offense I want to run is going to be more over the middle. We got Noah Fant. It's going to be more short game, taking checkdowns, working the short to intermediate middle of the field, which you look at, say what you will. I mean, I love Russ. Russ is a freaking first ballot Hall of Famer. He's going to wear a gold jacket someday. You look at his heat map. He did not throw the ball there. He just didn't do it. So, whoever is quarterbacking, hopefully at this point, Drew Lock, hey, we got weapons that can get open. Like Lockett can get separation. Noah Fant can get separation. I believe D. Eskridge can get separation. And even say, I think we'll be okay is the point. So if he could pass block and be an elite pass blocker, well, what can I do but be all in, right, with the dude we just picked?
Totally. So do you think we're going to trade back in to pick somebody at the end of the round, or are we probably done for the day?
Well, as someone pointed out in the chat, and maybe it depends on just how far Johnson drops. I was listening to the bootleg football guys.
Good point.
And they actually had Johnson falling all the way to the second round. So I don't know if that would I see Phil's face. We don't know what's going to happen, Phil.
Oh, I know what's going to happen.
Yeah, he's
That's
probably
not
going
going
to
to
go board here in the next couple picks, right?
That is not going to happen. I mean, no.
Well,
We're not going to get Johnson.
We got the first trade.
Hey, Gary's in. Hey, Gary, what's up, dude? Good to see him in the chat there.
I can't see the chat says we're doing this, but that's cool.
I can read. We would make really good live stuff if I read you every single chat as they come in. That'd be
I love that.
Phenomenal.
But to piggyback on what you were just saying there for a minute, Clinton, about the quick strike offense over the middle, all that stuff, and maybe that's how Shane wants to run things and everything, and like this pick kind of suggests that maybe a little bit. Then I guess we're taking Corral in the second round because he's the guy that runs that quick hitter stuff the best out of this class, in my opinion.
All right.
That's true.
Kind of style too, though.
Yeah, and you hear Pete talk about the point guard thing at quarterback and all that, and he's the guy to me that fits that the best. So we'll see if that is how one of our early second round picks manifests itself.
It's going to be Sam Howell, Adam. I've told the other guys. I haven't told you yet. Seahawks are taking Sam Howell.
Great. Other Tim Tebow. That sounds fantastic.
Wait a second. Hold on. I have something to say, but I'll say what I want to say first before I say the next thing.
Yes.
You talk about Tim Tebow. Yes, he ran the ball a lot this year because they lost their entire team. Like his entire team went, all the skill players went to the end. He had good skill players.
Yeah, De'Ami Brown last year. He had Javonte Williams.
2 years
ago, running back who went to the Jets.
Michael Carter, right? He had there you go, three NFL dudes 2 years ago. He lost all of them, and it was left with the cupboards were empty, and then he ran the ball a lot more. So I just want to say get back JoJo a little bit there, Adam, because when he had talent around him, he threw the ball all over the field, and then when it was gone, he was like, all right, I guess I got to do it myself.
Well, there's going to be a ton. There's going to be a ton of good pass rushing options on the next tier. So like tomorrow afternoon when we get going, after Johnson's gone for sure. There's a chance that Mafe still be there, Karlaftis, Ajabo, Sam Williams, Ebiketie, however you guys have decided that the Seahawks will pronounce it.
Yeah.
But there's a ton of guys that are supposed to be really good that could play well in a 3-4 on the outside. So we have some stuff to look forward to right away tomorrow.
I still would not be shocked if we trade back in tonight. I mean, obviously, who knows? But I don't think it's any worse than a 33% chance. You know, we have 2 early second-round picks, and if we see a dude we want, you get the 5th-year option. If they see a position of need and they're like, "Holy crap, this guy fell," I don't put it. But I like I said, 33% chance we're back in the first round. That's my guess.
And it's going to be Ritter.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go put my face in the freshly fallen snow and suffocate myself if that's what happens. But now with the idea of trading back up into the first, like there's a lot of merit to that, because you've been hearing all day, all the draft experts and everything being like, a lot of people, they want to be trading back right now. And there's not a lot of suitors to trade up. So in a weak market to trade up, you can probably get back up into the first for a little less than maybe you would in other years if there's a guy that they're really infatuated with. And hopefully that's a defensive dude in the trenches.
What's the cost, Brandon, to go from like 40 to 30?
40 to 30. Yeah, let's pull that up.
Well, since Putin invaded Ukraine, the cost of that has gone up too. So like inflationary pressures.
That works.
A lot of
impacts
a lot of trade up costs have gone down in the last few years, but maybe given it is 2022, everything costs more. Is that what we're saying? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Inflation across the board.
So, doesn't matter. Yeah. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. You gotta trade an extra 3rd round pick to get up there, and 5 gallons of gasoline because it's that expensive.
Yeah, no kidding.
If you packaged both of your 2nd round picks together, you could probably get into the late teens even.
Well, yeah. Do we really want to do that?
If you took your, let's just say, the 40th pick and the 72nd pick, that would get you into 25, 26, 27 territory.
Okay.
I don't want to excellent track record there.
So here's a trade that just went down right now, right? So the Saints jumped ahead. They got the
Commanders.
They got the Commanders spot, and they gave up their 16th and then a third and a 4th to get up there. And they had made the trade previously with the Eagles to get to get the Eagles first rounder, so they can make this move. I got to imagine this is Malik Willis, right?
A quarterback for sure.
But they're trading up to get their dude. So I mean, everybody's saying Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis,
or tiny hands.
Yeah, tiny hands,
slow tiny hands.
Yeah,
hands.
But that fake slide for the touchdown was pretty freaking sweet. You know that play I'm talking about?
Sure. Yeah.
That was a nice play. Come on.
It was a nice play.
That was that was nice. When he's so Phil, and if you've seen it, he breaks. It's a Pickett. He escapes the pocket, breaks through the middle, and he does a fake that he's going to slide, but does it so well that the defender just gives up on it, and he just like scoots around to the right side for a touchdown. But
it's
let's like
draft him. He had a cool play. So
it is so. But I'm just saying, it's so smooth.
If I played 15 years in college, I'd probably be pretty smooth at those little trick plays too.
They're called doctors, Tommy.
Well, and Malik Willis threw that one play that they posted on Twitter 1 zillion times, and so he needs to be drafted right here, right? I mean,
and that
it's all about the one play.
Well,
you get your quarterback for one play.
Yeah, Malik's play, he didn't even have pads on. You know, at least Pickett's play was in a real game with pads on, right? So.
Unless we're talking about the Malik play where he's running the ball and he bounces off a couple dudes, and
he's awesome too. Yeah. He's very special too. Like
what about the 50 plays where he holds onto the ball, and he's sacked. Mm-hmm. And he holds onto the ball and he's sacked. What about
we still talk about Russ? What's going on here?
At Liberty,
less polished Russ. Yeah,
less polished Russ. LPR.
Yeah.
That's what I see actually with Willis. But I mean, maybe it's not direct, but he can do the rest stuff. He's just, his brain works even slower.
I hear all that.
I don't know if it's his brain is slow. It's just more, how much experience does he really have? And especially playing at a lower level of competition. And then you get the COVID year knocked in there and everything. Like, if you're drafting Willis, I mean, you're looking at the potential upside. I mean, he's got a absolute hose for an arm, and he can really move. And he seems like a quality character guy on top of all that. So, that leadership aspect of the quarterback play, I mean, he seems to have that. But it's just so freaking raw that to draft him that high, the expectations are going to be through the roof, and he's going to be somebody they're going to try to throw on the field really quickly. I mean, look at the Niners drafting Trey Lance and how raw he has been. Mm-hmm. And they still haven't gotten rid of Jimmy G because I think they are a little terrified of putting him out there.
I agree, which kind of delights me, right? Because there was that whole like, that Shanahan really didn't want him or Lynch did, or who knows like what the back and forth was. But regardless, it's kind of delightful that they have this QB controversy and a
wide receiver controversy.
Yeah, Debo doesn't want to be a running back. You know what?
Debo doesn't want to get paid Christian Kirk money, is I think what.
No, you know what Debo doesn't want? He doesn't want to be out of the league in 3 years because they keep using him as a running back and get paid $8 million a year when he can make $25 million a year and play for 10 years as a wide receiver. And that's a smart business decision by Debo Samuel.
But wasn't Marshall Faulk paid as if he was one of the top players in the game when he played? Because that's who Debo is to me. Yeah. He's a Marshall Faulk kind of player. He happens to wear a wide receiver number rather than the running back number, but their games are pretty similar. I think he should embrace it, man. Be that guy. I mean, Marshall Faulk is a freaking Hall of Famer.
I hear you, and there's not that many. I don't know. There's not. I just don't, from a business perspective. Oh, they took Chris Olave, by the way, the wide receiver.
Yeah, that's a pretty wild move to take Olave to the Saints. But Phil, I'm gonna put you just to the side here. You're welcome to stay in. I'll bring you back in, but we do have another guest joining us to help break down this Seahawks pick. They take Charles Cross on the offensive line with their first pick, and a man who I know is probably not super happy about it based on my previous conversations with him. Rob Staten of Seahawks Draft Blog. Rob, how you doing?
Hey, Brandon, enjoying the draft. So, it's an interesting pick that I did not expect that at all because, if there's one thing the Seahawks keep saying they want to be, it's a Pete Carroll team. And they keep making decisions in the draft that go against, what you would do typically to build that kind of team, taking receivers over guys like Creed Humphrey a year ago, and now taking air raid left tackles who don't run block, who are not explosive, who are not particularly big. I'm very, very surprised by that.
Well, there is one thing, though, is going against tendencies at offensive line. Maybe not necessarily a bad thing if Pete has maybe handed off the offensive lineman scouting to Shane Waldron and Andy Dickerson, because Pete Carroll historically hasn't been all that great at drafting offensive linemen.
Yeah, but think of the tackles the Rams had.
Right.
Their tackles are 6'7", 330 pounds, both of them. And Charles Cross is 6'4", and about 305 pounds. He's not a big guy. He's not. I mean, you just have to look at him. He's not a big guy. And again, it doesn't align with what the Rams have done at tackle. It doesn't align with what the Seahawks have done in the past. I know a lot of people out there really like Charles Cross. PFF has him like the third best player in the draft or something like that. And some people were even saying, some people believe he's the best player in the draft. That is out there. There's also people like Daniel Jeremiah saying that he was like, I don't know, the 20th best player in the draft. And Lance Zierlein had him, I think, about 18. I thought he was probably a second round talent, frankly. I think if you were going to listen, it's hard to complain too much because one of the things I think what do you want to take when you've made a big trade like this? You want to take a left tackle, you want to take a defensive end, you want to take a premium position. But for me, I worry a little bit about this pick. I must admit. I mean, I don't see Charles Cross in 5 years' time being one of the best left tackles in the NFL. And I think that Evan Neal could have been, I think Kevin Thibodeau could have been one of the best pass rushers. I think Derek Stingley was going to be one of the best cornerbacks. I think Jermaine Johnson's got to, I mean, he's still on the board. He's obviously falling a little bit here.
And that was the thing that reminded me of you, Rob, because when we had our discussion about who you wanted at number 9, it was Jermaine Johnson. And so when it kind of looked like the thing that could happen when the Falcons were on the board, if they were to take Johnson, then yes, then you're left with all the top pass rushing options off the board, the top 2 tackles off the board, who we had discussed anyway, the top 2 cornerbacks off the board. And really that would have, and so when it came to the Seahawks and they had the opportunity to take Johnson, I was a little bit surprised that that's not the move that they made. But I can't be too upset either about, I mean, trenches, filling in guys through the trenches, especially when you have in the top 10. If Cross is that guy, then we're not going to be complaining a couple of years down the road.
No. I hope he is the guy. I mean, look, right now it's a little bit deflating because for me anyway, I mean, I don't know what you guys think. You guys may love the pick.
We're big PFF fans right now, Rob.
Yeah.
We're not draft blog fans. We're PFF fans.
When I was watching Charles Cross, I kind of wanted to turn the tape off. I've got to be honest. I found it a little bit frustrating to watch him play because I felt like I was watching the same rep over and over again. This draft's crazy, by the way. I mean, I've just seen that the Lions have traded up 20 spots for essentially a swap of second-round picks and a third. You've moved up 20 spots.
Yeah.
For basically one mid-round pick. I mean, that's just nuts. That never happens.
Yeah, that's insane, dude. And Rob, you're I wouldn't say single-handedly, but like certainly one of the reasons I was so hot to trot on Jermaine Johnson also. Listening to you and be like how good that dude is, what we need off the edge, what he could have provided. And this little consortium, we were pulling fairly hard for Jermaine Johnson to get pulled at 9 there. So, I think everybody kind of realized, hey, all right, Cross, we need an OT. But you had said it on some of your pods too, like if we go into the draft without addressing OT, that was kind of a failure, period, in your brain, right? So like heading in without re-signing Dwayne Brown or somebody else, that was kind of like, well, line of demarcation. Like we failed to prepare to be able to take the best player available.
Yeah. There's just a lot of thoughts in my head. I mean, going back to the tape, what I was going to say before I saw that trade is he would get into the same set, and it's a Mike Leach offense. So what they would do is they would just throw the ball very, very quickly. And his role at Mississippi State was kind of just get in the way, for just enough time in order for the ball to come out. It's not a pro style offense where you are, having to do a lot of kick slide, lock on, hold a position for a long, long time, anchor. You're not driving anybody off the ball. You've not got to get, oh, okay, it's 3rd and 1. What are you going to, well, we're going to throw in the shotgun again. That's what they do. It's that you kind of want to see it. When you watch Evan Neal, he's big, he's 6'7", he's 40 pounds. And you see him move athletically in pass pro, and you see him driving up people off the line and getting those hard yards in the running game. And with Charles Cross, it was just the same darn thing every single time. I'm going to drop in my set. I'm going to get in the way just long enough for this to get out. And the Seahawks are not going to do that. That's what I don't understand about the pick. They are not going to play that way. Pete Carroll is not going to throw the ball 40 to 50 times a game next season. He's not going to be asking Charles Cross to drop into a pass set and just hold on enough for the quarterback to get the ball out really quickly. It's going to be a lot more. We're going to try and run the ball. If you need a yard, are you going to run behind the top 10 pick you've just taken for your offensive tackle with Charles Cross? I don't think you are. I mean, the guy, I can try and dig it out. He jumped something like a 23-inch vertical at the combine. I'd back myself to do that. It's not. I'm really surprised, because to a certain extent with the way that it played out, if they were going to take the tackle in that spot, as much as I was against taking Trevor Penning, he's big, he's explosive, he fits the Rams, type of tackle. If nothing else, he could probably get you a yard in that running game. With Cross, it feels like, again, are we a finesse team or are we trying to be a running team? Because if we're being a finesse team, let's bring Russell Wilson back. Let's get let's throw the ball 40 times. If we want to play Pete Carroll football, then let's draft a team to play Pete Carroll football. I mean, what are they going to take next? Another safety? What are we doing here?
A running back, Rob. They're going to take a running back.
No,
if it hadn't have been Johnson, Rob, instead of Cross, is there another guy on the board that you would have been pretty excited about there at 9?
Jordan Davis, someone like that, just because it's kind of fun. But it wasn't a big need. I mean, you're starting a rebuild with someone who's like a two gapping, non-passing down nose tackle of the future.
As we pointed out earlier, when the highest paid player on your team already plays that position with Poona Ford.
Yeah. So, but this is the problem. I mean, look, I'm not going to write Charles Cross off and say what a disaster. This is a nightmare and everything like that.
Can you grade it though, Rob, as an FU pick to Russell Wilson?
No, I don't think so. I think that I just if the Seahawks want to be a certain team, build your team that way. And the one disappointing thing. Look, we'll see where Jermaine Johnson goes because he might. God, if he falls, who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, look, it only cost you a 3rd round pick to move up. So why don't the Seahawks move up and get him? I mean, that'll turn this frown into a smile. But the thing is that I really hoped that you've brought in Sean Desai and you've got Clint Hurt and you're talking about all this new stuff on defense and wouldn't it be great if nothing else this year to see the Seahawks get after other teams, in the pass rush, from Darrell Taylor one side, Jermaine Johnson on the other, Uchenna and Nwosu coming in there. And to me, it just feels like they've thought, oh, crap, we better fill a need because we can't trade down and some of the better players have gone. Well, we need tackles. So Charles Cross? Yeah, go on then. That's kind of what it feels like. And this is the problem that, but look, I'm sure a lot of fans are going to love this. The guy who's I voiced some mild criticism of Charles Cross on Twitter in response to somebody asking me a question, and Duke Manyweather, who's been training Charles Cross, suddenly launched into some tirade and started quote. He was obviously searching for people's names on Twitter and launched into some tirade and started quote tweeting me and saying, who's this idiot? Nah.
You've made it, Rob. You've made it.
I was like,
yeah,
just answering a question, So I don't know. Right. If he's been around people like that, then I hope it hasn't rubbed off on him. But it's not enough.
If he's not used to Seahawks Twitter, that's gonna change real quick.
I just thought a soft-bodied tackle, very little muscle definition. I mean, look, it's not a weightlifting competition, or bodybuilding competition rather than weightlifting, bodybuilding competition, but. Look at him with his shirt off. There's very little muscle definition. He's not big. I just find it thoroughly underwhelming.
So, Rob, what you're saying is in 20 years, he'll have 7 rings? Is this what we're going for here?
Actually, apparently they're going to play him at quarterback. Yeah.
Yeah. Is he? Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, but we could go for a 2-decade run with Cross a quarterback, apparently.
I need to understand the thinking because it's not an upside guy. It's not a, okay, at 10, we're going to shoot for the stars type player. It's the opposite of that. It's he's graded well in pass. This is what he is. He is graded well in pass protection.
Well, Rob, before you head out, though, I do want to know in terms of pass rush guys. I know we maybe don't expect Johnson to fall all the way to the 2nd round when the Seahawks pick next. Maybe he falls enough into the back end of the 1st round that they can move up and make a deal there. But who are some of the other pass rushers that you could see the Seahawks potentially going after here, late 1st round, early 2nd round? So
guys that are not Jermaine Johnson, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. If he happens to fall, then great, but some other guys.
Well, George Karlaftis, some people think that he's basically Aidan Hutchinson, just available later on. I mean, he's not as good against the run. His run defense is pretty surprisingly awful, but he's that kind of player. So there's him. He's got shorter arms. Although then again at the pro day he measured 33, but it's a pro day. They probably like let him grow his nails or something. Boya Mafi, obviously, very appealing player, very good. I'm not as keen on Arnold Ebiketie because the 1.69 10-yard split is a bit off-putting that. Sam Williams, Ole Miss, maybe he'll last a long time because of character concerns, but he's their kind of player, as a pass rusher.
Well, if you're in on the 10-yard splits, you got to like my Oklahoma guy then.
Who's that?
Benito.
Benito, yeah.
Nick Benito.
He had a good 10-yard split, didn't he?
He did, and he was bigger than I think people expected at the combine. I don't mind Nick Benito. I think the problem with that is when you look at the scheme, he basically lined up very wide and was like asked to get to the quarterback, in a foot race before the tackle could come across. There was a lot of engagement there. The one thing about Jermaine Johnson is that he will engage with his hands and win that way. Nick Benito is kind of like a can you get there first? Can you run to that in a straight line to that quarterback from a diagonally and get there before the tackle gets across? Because if you can, you might get a sack. So, but maybe they'll play that way next year. I don't know. But anyway, surprising pick. I've got a dash, but
really appreciate you coming on, Rob.
I hope that I have not been too Debbie Downer.
You have been perfectly Debbie Downer. You nailed it.
I would expect nothing less from a British man. Come on.
Yes, well, exactly. A Yorkshireman as well. No less.
Yeah.
All right, Rob.
Enjoy the draft, guys.
Yep. Talk to you later. All right. So there was Rob. Not super happy with pick.
But we knew that, right? If you listen to his, pods going in, we talked about our nightmare scenario, right, Brandon, on what if. Yeah. That was, we just saw the dude. He's in a dimly lit room. It's like whatever time it is there, Saturday in the UK, right? So whatever time it is, he's distraught. And they took the dude that he's like, he doesn't, because he's huge into the Spark scores and all that. That's definitely part of his jam, right? He was actually ahead of the curve on the Spark score stuff, and Cross does not tick the boxes for him in that way whatsoever. And then you listen to EJ and others talk about Cross, and they're like, this guy is a solid B+ start day one offensive tackle with an upside to be a 10-year plug him in as your guy. Those are wildly different stories. Both can't be true. So we're going to see, we'll see probably fairly quickly, probably within a year and a half, which one's more accurate, I guess.
Yeah. If he did not come in and start as a number 9 overall pick and not starting right away, that would be a big concern.
I guess if they brought back Dwayne Brown for another year and they wanted to give him some seasoning, how is that a disaster? This year doesn't matter.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
Well, it kind of matters. It matters if he's a bust.
Yeah. I can see that.
It matters if you don't get a dude that you could start on a rookie contract at offensive tackle. Like if that guy is not a starter, that matters. Then you missed, obviously, right? That'd be the definition. You need, with a rebuild, you need a premier position, one of quarterback or several quarterback, offensive tackle, edge, right? Those three, I'd say maybe corner, but with our team, really not, because we just coach dudes up really effectively. But those other three, you probably need 2 out of those 3 on a rookie deal to be somewhat successful for a rebuild, to quite successful. Quite successful, then you're probably a playoff team and then contending. So if he's a whiff, bad news bears.
Long hair, big booty. Jordan Davis goes to the Eagles.
Dude, he's such a monster. Look at this guy. He's amazing. He's a monster, dude.
That's an interesting stripe on the suit. Okay.
Yeah, he went with the literal red stripe, the Jamaican beer red stripe. He decided for us, which I think is a delicious lager. The only problem I have with red stripe is they do that thing where they make it 11.2 ounces because it's like not American, and they try to be all European about their ounces, and so it's 11.2, and I always feel gypped.
Shrinkflation, man. That's what that is.
Curtis Crabtree tweeting that Charles Cross said he was kind of expecting Seattle to take him when they went on the clock. Said he's been training at right tackle as well to to his past playing left tackle at Mississippi State. Yes, he's saying that he's training to play right or left tackle, whatever's best for the team. So that brings up the other point too. Dwayne Brown, bring him back for a year,
Yes.
start out Cross on the right side maybe, and then make that transition or fill in if injury necessary for Brown. Yeah, I could see that.
That'd be good. That'd be good.
So if he
right?
starts at right tackle, you're cool with it, Clinton. What if they kick him into guard?
Also okay. That's not horrible, right? I mean, yes, right now we have 2 guards, but doesn't mean that D-Lou can't slide to center. He already did it. He was very good at it, actually.
That's true fact.
Probably better at that than our.
But we're all set at center.
Yeah, we're loaded at center.
We're loaded.
We're loaded.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, and I think Ekwonu was one of the guys who was talked about as potentially being a better guard than tackle. And so if that's the case, if a team is projecting him at to move inside instead of playing tackle, then you're still talking about one of the top 2 tackles, right?
Yeah, we could convince ourselves that way. I like your fuzzy math, but I think that it's funny. Like that's like, to me, that's like the new thing the last couple of years of really paying attention to the draft. It's just like, oh yeah, he played tackle in college, but he's really more of a guard, and I don't know. I mean, Ekwonu seems like a pretty good tackle. Like that's what he did and was very good at it. So I dismissed that a little bit. We shall see.
Yeah, everybody in the chat chiming in on Forsyth, Thad and Wenatchee.
Forsyth.
What about Stone Cross at the bookends, man?
Curran. Hey, listen, Curran played well. Let's be very honest about how Curran played down the stretch.
He played okay.
No. He played well. He played just as he was a part of Rashad Penny re-signing with the Seahawks. He just was, and that's just a fact. Like he was blowing holes open in the run game. Now, I'm not saying Jake Curran's our right tackle of future and I'm married to the guy and that's that. But, give the guy a little bit of credit, came in really kind of out of nowhere and played at least, passable right tackle football in the NFL when he was kind of a no name. That's okay. That's a pretty good surprise to the upside.
So I don't know that. I mean, as we talk about kicking him into guard and things like that, I mean, they're not paying Gabe Jackson what they pay Gabe Jackson to not have him play and be a starter.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think they want some stability, and I don't see them moving Lewis around. Obviously, the Cross kid, he's going to be in the mix at tackle. Now, I do think that it's more likely that. Well, maybe I can't say that. I was going to say it feels more likely you might end up playing the right side and giving somebody like Stone Forsyth the chance or bringing in Brown for another year, whatever it is. But, obviously, I mean, Brandon Shell's got to be kind of feeling like there's not a home for him now, right?
Well, he's not signed anywhere, right?
That's what I'm saying. So
he's just still floating out there. Yeah.
You would have thought, he'd be coming back here. After last year, even with the injuries. I mean, I didn't hate the way that Brandon Shell played. I mean, but whether or not he's a massive upgrade over Curran, I don't know. For the money,
I think he was good, and Curran was like passable to good, right? And at costing nothing, like you said, for the money, I think is the big factor there. But Shell was really too hurt it was 2 years, right? And he didn't play that much, especially year 2. He was just out a ton. But I thought he was a pretty darn good right tackle. Just not on the field enough. Like you say all the time, right? The best ability, right?
Yeah. Well, hey, Brandon, your fears should be alleviated about them taking a safety. I mean, it looks like the Notre Dame kid just came off the board. So
to the Ravens.
Yeah.
Yeah, Amy pointing out in the chat that he looks a little sad about going to Baltimore.
What? Why? If you're a safety? Yeah, I mean that's good. I mean, the person that's the most sad about that probably is Earl, right? Wasn't he going to try his comeback here?
I don't think he's wanted in Baltimore anymore.
No? Oh.
Is he wanted in Seattle anymore after the
yeah, probably not.
Yeah,
I think this is a good point, though, that's made on Facebook here. And nice to see our picks highlight package, including teams like Alabama, LSU, and Georgia, rather than a bunch of no-name teams.
A lot to be said for that.
That's definitely true. But back to what a little bit like Rob was saying, like this isn't a Seahawks type pick. All right, and I agree with 10 years of history, right? I'm not being a contrarian for the sake of it.
Well, he did compare him to the Rams history too.
Oh, sure. Right. Totally. Yeah, right. I agree.
Okay.
But I do want to kind of point out that the Seahawks have been bucking that a little bit, at least now for, a pick here and last year's draft. Like Trey Brown was not a Seahawks style Seahawky corner. And D. Eskridge was not the traditional dude that Carroll covets. He covets DK Metcalf. I mean, most people do, but that big X receiver, obviously,
he coveted in terms of speed. Like historically, they've only drafted 4.4 and faster guys, and so
he definitely checked the boxes there for sure. But I look at it's like, oh, we're not going to throw 40 times, which I don't want to throw 40 times. I want to run the friggin' ball and throw 28 to 32 times and win football games. And I still think there is this faith in Shane Waldron. Look at our two last highest picks. It's D. Eskridge, okay, and then a pass blocking specialist tackle. Okay. That screams to me that Waldron has Carroll's faith. And I think that's an okay thing. Just that, if I could read that way, otherwise he'd be just gearing up on defensive tackles, defensive, edges. He didn't do that. So I think it speaks a little bit to what he thinks of what Waldron can do. And we saw some of it last year. We just didn't see it enough last year. We talked about that a lot last season.
So is it really that anti-Seahawk of a pick too? When you think about it, how did Russell Okung grade out when they picked him high? I mean, that wasn't necessarily a name that I was like, oh my goodness, he's one of the best, or anything like that. Kind of a guy that was an all-arounder and maybe not super explosive and all that stuff. And that turned out fine. And here they kind of do the same thing with this pick across, it seems like. And if it is different than what we've been traditionally doing over the last 5 years or so, isn't that maybe a good thing?
Yeah, I think I may have mentioned that as well. Now we're seeing in the chat the Ravens sending their receiver.
What? They traded Hollywood Brown
to Arizona.
Wow. To Arizona. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay.
So I was listening to NFL Network when I couldn't listen to you guys in my little gaps in coverage on my drive back. And they were talking a lot about the idea that it wouldn't be crazy for the Cardinals to possibly select a quarterback at some point here in this earlier part of the draft, just to kind of maybe put some pressure on their negotiations, have a backup plan with Kyler throwing his little Instagram scrub hissy fit, which by the way is the newest athlete trend that I can't stand the most. The whole
why does it bother you? It happens online.
It bothers me because it's passive aggressive BS, dude. I can't stand if you're like, I'm out of here, just type out a freaking stupid tweet that says I'm out of here. I scrubbed all the Cardinal stuff off my Instagram. I mean business now.
This is the move to appease Kyler then, because Brown was Kyler's receiver at OU.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
you think receiver is the thing that's not appeasing Kyler right now? It's dollar bills, baby. Dollar bills.
They're going to pay him. They're going to pay Kyler. It's going to be.
Are they?
Well, if they don't, somebody will. He's going to get. He's going to get 40. I mean, he's going to get $40 million a year plus. That's what quarterbacks get, and he's going to get that range. And blah blah blah. I'd be, here's the thing. If I'm a Cardinals. Well, I'm not going to say Cardinals fan because I'll just throw up in my mouth. I'm not a Cardinals fan, but okay. The Cardinals, quote unquote, lost Christian Kirk. All right. The Jaguars paid Christian Kirk $20 million a year. Okay. They just upgraded their wide receiver position and got Hollywood Brown for a scratch off. And that's a good move. It's just tantamount to saying, would you trade Hollywood Brown for Christian Kirk, right? And yeah, you absolutely freaking would. So, I don't want to give them props, but not a bad move. I think it makes them a better team. Now, I don't think he's a true one. I think Hollywood Brown kind of always needs, because he's not that big DK Metcalf kind of guy. He's not Devontae Adams, but he's a good
got D-Hop.
Yeah, but yes, but he's getting kind of old.
He's still one of the top 5 receivers in the NFL.
No, I don't think he's top 5. I don't.
What?
I don't think DeAndre Hopkins is a top 5 receiver any longer.
Just remove Clinton from.
I was going to say
okay with the Cardinals hate, but even with the Cardinals hate, I can't bring myself to say that.
I'm not saying DeAndre Hopkins is not likely a Hall of Famer, and that DeAndre Hopkins is still a very, very
right
good.
Now.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Who are the 5 guys that you would take before D-Hop?
Well, definitely Hunter Renfrow. I mean, he's a gym rat after all. No, but I mean, Devontae Adams. Okay, Justin Jefferson.
Ooh, I don't think I do that one, but okay.
Oh, come on, Justin Jefferson's
I'm not dogging Jefferson.
He's far superior to DeAndre Hopkins is at this point in his career.
Far superior.
And then Hopkins now, much better receiver at this point.
He's not AJ Green. Or Julio.
Yeah, are you confusing D-Hop with AJ Green?
No, I am not. I'm not. Let me just think on the other 3. You guys talk about something. I'll find 3. Don't worry.
You take Cup.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, Kupp.
Thank you, Cooper Kupp for sure. DK. No, I can't put DK over him. We can't do that. I think he has more upside. Obviously, we could. Give me a few minutes. We got 3 so far. You could argue.
Diggs?
I take Diggs. I think he's better. I think you could argue Tyreek, although I wouldn't put him over him.
Tyreek's better.
I don't think so either. I'm just saying, throwing some good dudes out there.
Yeah.
So we got 4. I think Stephon Diggs is a better wide receiver than D-Hop at this point in his career.
Mike Evans.
Mike Evans is very, very good. And again, probably a Hall of Famer. Mike Evans might be. That's a good one. I wouldn't put DJ Moore there. I know that sounds weird, but DJ Moore, I think, is a very good wide receiver who's been just underserved in a bad Carolina offense.
Wait, Carolina has a team?
That was good.
Yeah.
The other guys that might be considered Debo, Jamar.
No, not Debo. Jamar Chase, very, very soon.
He's on the up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chase is on the up, but I don't know, especially if you're thinking a little bit of body of work in there as
I just
well.
gotta get some logos in front of my face. Give me a sec. You guys just keep on conversing.
All right.
We're gonna look at divisions.
So, hey, Brandon, I'm really excited to see what the Niners and the Rams do in the first round today. That's one of the best parts about this draft.
We're going to be waiting a long time to see what the Rams or Niners do.
Yeah. What is it, 25? Like, is that when we're going to see what they do in the first round?
2025? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, that's the best part about the draft today for me.
Cardinals aren't picking now either.
Yeah, but they did trade for a good player, a very good player. And if you're the Cardinals, that makes sense. Like, you fade down the stretch offensively. Kyler needs all the help that he can get in terms of sustaining an entire season. AJ Green obviously wasn't the answer for their number 2. I mean, he's fine number 3 maybe these days. I mean, he's like Niners Randy Moss right now, and I think it makes sense for them with the Seahawks having a down year this upcoming year. The Rams, hopefully they have a Super Bowl hangover, and the Niners apparently whiffing on their big quarterback pick. So it'll be interesting.
No, Raven, you don't trade DK to get back on the first. You can trade a second round pick and a third round pick, or you can trade 2 seconds and get up to about maybe in the next few picks.
Yeah,
I mean, DK's worth more than the 23rd pick, right?
Yes,
that they just got for AJ or Hollywood Brown, whichever Brown that is.
100%. DK's worth a lot more than that. They're different types of players.
We're past that, yeah.
No, the DK again. Your big X receiver. Like we're talking about, like again, like going down. Like DK is actually very, very close to the top 5 again, with like where he should be, like in scheme wise. And if they use a guy like that the right way. By the way, AJ Brown, I'd put AJ Brown over D Hop right now. I would definitely. Who do you want on your team?
He's
Give me
good.
AJ Brown. No, he's really good, man. He's really good. I mean, listen, D Hop is a very, very good football player still, but he's older. Like there's
if you're talking who you want more for the long term, but if I'm talking about a guy who I just want for this year,
I take Keenan Allen over. I would take Keenan Allen over D Hop right now.
He's hurt more than D Hop.
He's better than D Hop right now. He's better than him, man.
Again,
different. I got. Listen, we could agree and
okay, let's move on. Let's move on from D Hop and Clinton's bad takes.
Fine.
On Facebook, I wonder if Rob would be pissed about passing on Jermaine Johnson as he falls down the board. Hey, maybe there's something about Jermaine Johnson that we don't know about why, because he wasn't really being talked about as top 10, and then I felt like he got a lot of discussion about being a top 10 guy right toward the end. So yeah, it's a little bit interesting.
Do you think he got the anti-Walker treatment? Like, because it was almost a lock that the Michigan dude was number 1, right? And all of a sudden, like the Walker cat like snuck into the conversation and got built up after his combine performance and everything. It sounds like maybe Johnson here got the opposite, right? Like they started talking him up and he could be in the top 10 and everything, and all the GMs are like, oh no, that's hype.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think it could. We were talking earlier before you were on too, like how cool it is for Aidan Hutchinson to just go to Detroit, like a Michigan kid that now goes to go there with a team that's getting really good in a city that's actually a really good sports city that is so thirsty for them to have a good football team. Like that's gonna be good, Like I think they'll get their poop in a group at some point, but they're building a good team now.
Is this true fact, Josh? Is this true fact?
No,
I don't know.
Did they just trade a better wide receiver than DeAndre Hopkins to the Eagles right now?
Is Josh related to like Rappaport or something like that? How does he know these things? So
Josh, I told you earlier, Josh is a good follow on Twitter, fellas.
No, like, Amy says it in the Discord too. AJ Brown to the Eagles. That is what? Why would you do that?
Happening?
Well, I think the reason why you do that is if you're the Titans and you're a run first team, as they clearly are, you look at the wide receiver salaries, and AJ Brown's due for a deal. And I don't think they want to pay what he's going to command on the open market. And so, maybe you flip it and you get one of the rookie wide receivers that you really like. And now you have him locked in for 5 years at that cheaper rate. You can keep paying Derrick Henry. You can keep paying your offensive linemen, that sort of thing.
It's crazy, man. The NFL, like this year is like, I think this inflection point where like the wide receivers have now become what running backs had just become. Like it was like, you take a running back, you get him on the 3 to 4 year deal. Don't whatever the hell you do, don't take him in the first round. Like that's sacrilege, right? Get him early second round. And then when they're up in their first year contract, well, guess what? You get the 4 best years of their career and kick them to free agency. Yeah. And we're seeing because Christian Kirk got $20 million freaking dollars that there's DK rumors that Debo wants out, that AJ Brown just got freaking traded. This is Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams. Like this is freaking insane. This is just a different thing that we just have not. Yeah. But like literally this year is like 2022 is gonna be like, holy crap. That's the year that it changed again, where it's so much more fluid and so much more like the NBA than what the NFL was, I guess.
It makes a ton of sense for the Eagles. I mean, they don't have a quarterback that they have to pay quite yet. Now you get to find out if
they don't have a quarterback, period.
That's what I was going to say. They don't have a quarterback. You just stop it right there. You're good.
But if Hurts can't succeed with AJ Brown and
Smith, the kid they drafted last year.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. They got Devonta. They got, man, that's
Devonta
a good
Smith, AJ Brown.
That's a good get. They got some talented backs.
And they only give up the number 18 pick and the number 101 pick
to go
in a class where I don't think any of these receivers are going to be AJ Brown. So
Well,
it's not like they're going to draft.
Well, I don't know. There's guys that are talked about in that kind of breath. And like, I think these sort of moves that we're seeing this offseason are spurred on by a combination of two things. One being that the wide receiver market has just become stupid. It's just become stupid in terms of the money. And then secondly, college football is producing wide receivers, at a clip that we've maybe never seen before because of the way that everybody's airing it out, and it's kind of the great equalizer in college football and everything. So there's a lot more available that you can find. And I think a third point being is that guys are looking at this, GMs and the staffs are looking at this and going, you can get the DK Metcalfs of the world in, the second and things like that. And so I think that makes it a lot harder to pay, super top end guys, unless they're unbelievably unique. Like AJ Brown's a very good player, and he's a big boy too, but he's not as freaky as DK is, right? He's not as freaky as, say, a Hopkins or some of those guys, or a Randy Moss in his prime. Those are Calvin Johnson. Those are the guys that you pay now. It's a little like how the quarterback market had been over the last 5, 6, 7 years. Like, if it's not a top 5 quarterback, you don't give him that big bank. And this is kind of what the Browns did with Baker. And I kind of expected them. I didn't expect them to get Watson, but I thought they might be the first team to go ahead and, do the quarterback roulette and go through the, rookie contract and then be like, nope, we ain't paying you, and draft another guy. Cause there's quarterbacks every year, except for this year, apparently.
AJ Brown already getting his money as part of this too. This must have been in the works, because 4-year, $100 million deal for a guy that still has 1 year left on his contract too. So
only $5 million a year more than Christian Kirk. That's wild.
That's not a bad deal for the Eagles either.
No,
yeah, if we could pay DK right now, 4 years,
I'd do it in a heartbeat. Yeah.
So this is fine.
And him and Brown have very comparable stats. I would think that that's now the market, right?
Yeah. Are you back in, Phil? Just jump in. Phil's done with dinner.
Yeah, where's Phil? Get Phil back in here.
Clinton's back in.
Hey, hello. Hey,
nice. Well, fortunately, Brittany just came home and she's gonna light a fire because it's cold in here.
Because of the snow?
Because you can't get up and light your own fire?
I can, but then I wouldn't be here with you fine fellows. Like, I already missed enough of this. Like, I'm trying to tough it out. I was trying to be a team player.
Yeah. How surprising is it that not a quarterback off the board yet? I know that
it's not.
But the fact that nobody's, I mean, we covered on the last show, Adam, we talked about the 2011 quarterback class,
right?
And you had dudes who were not great in the top 12.
Hey, look, GMs are learning their lessons, I guess.
I guess so.
I mean, that's something there.
And
the weird part, I think when the quarterbacks go, it's going to be like in a group. It's going to be a run, because I think most of them, you kind of look at them and they all have pluses and minuses, but they all kind of grade out, about the same for the most part.
So the Titans, they get their receiver, Treylon Burks.
Okay. I did watch a little of that dude, and he good.
He's got some wheels.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see that making sense for the Titans too, I suppose. It just, to give up one of your big stars. And,
ESPN just had his comparison as either Debo or AJ Brown.
Right.
So similar style player, apparently.
Bloomquist checking in. Titans announcing Henry will get 700.
Ryan Tannehill agrees. Yeah.
That's awesome. So what do we still think we're trading back in here? I hope to God we're not trading DK. This seems to be the
we're not trading.
It's too late.
I would think that the Niners would be more apt to trade Debo at this point than the Seahawks to trade DK.
Wow. What a bold thing by Tennessee, right? You literally said it, Adam. Like they're gonna trade a dude, and they're just gonna take the next wide receiver they think is the guy, and they They went for him. They think it's Burks. That's. Hey, I think that's kind of the new wave, right? Just get that next body in for 3+ years, 3 years, and see if you can replace him. I just think I don't know. It's a little too risky for my blood in the sense that like,
you better freaking love Burks.
But
you better
like,
love him if you're
a
the Titans, right?
A lot of wide receivers don't hit. Like it is not, we just replaced AJ Brown.
Are we sure?
Yeah, exactly. There's a dude named Denzel Mims on the Jets. That's probably like, there's dudes all the time that get taken first round wide receivers.
N'Keal Harry.
Yeah, N'Keal Harry, Henry Ruggs. I mean, different scenario, but like,
but it all didn't work out. Yeah.
Yeah. Did not work out. Like, so that's the point. Like, you're giving up in my opinion, a top 5 wide receiver, at least top 10. And now you have a dude that's, a maybe, and then the 101st pick overall.
And guess what?
And the money.
And the Cardinals apparently, according to Clinton Bonner, have a new number 1.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Brady Henderson tweeting out a scouting report on offensive tackle Charles Cross. Cross and this analysis is from Scouts Inc. Cross is a 2-year starter who is still developing as a pass blocker, but he's a natural knee bender. I love it when guys naturally bend their knees.
Dude, there's so few people in this world that when they pop out of the womb are just able to bend their knees like a person. Like, it's just not natural. It's a learned behavior. And I'm so glad that Cross is one of those guys.
No.
He was born with knees and they worked. They're natural.
His mirror and slide agility is outstanding, and he has the length to keep edge rushers off his frame. He's got long levers.
Long levers. I meant to do a little research before this, what the new draft term was for this year. I wanted to figure that one out.
Not a lot of guys touching the ball going in the draft so far. Not a lot of guys who touch the football.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
is that the phrase?
Expected. I don't know. That was a phrase.
Okay.
Man.
I've got these goofballs on mute because that's the only way I can kind of stand to listen to this sort of thing. But I'm just curious because it always seems like every year there's some new one that I've never heard of, before. The long levers might take the cake, but yeah.
I feel like there's so many recycled ones that it's hard to get any new ones. But continuing the report, as a run blocker, he fits best in a zone-heavy scheme where he can use his foot speed and length to reach and seal defensive linemen.
Yeah, especially with them natural knees. Hey, but zone scheme, I mean, that's what we're talking about here, right? When Rob's like, well, I don't know exactly how this fits. He's not really Ramsey, blah, blah, blah. That Rams offense and in that McVay offense, that's a zone scheme, man.
Mm-hmm. Man.
Quit laughing at the comments without putting them up, Brandon.
I don't know if I can put Dave's comment up.
Why? Is it Bloomy, Dave?
It's Bloomy Dave, yeah.
Yes, then who cares? What are they going to do? Kick us off of the YouTube live stream right now?
Maybe.
Hey, I'm doing this out of
yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Under protest. I think that's how I have to say that.
Yes.
Hey,
yeah.
Look, it's well known that the Thai people and the Filipino
natural knee benders, NKB. Yeah.
Now I'm not even sure what that term means after that's come up.
You know what it means, Brandon.
I have no idea what it means.
Yeah. Okay. Squeaky clean mind guy.
It's such an odd phrase, though, right? Like, I mean, to describe a offensive tackle. Not the way Dave was using it, but to describe an offensive tackle as a natural knee bender. Like,
well, it's better than sudden hands. Like his hands just like appeared. Oh yeah, sudden hands now. Like they're here.
Coming off the board. Who is, I think, a sand in the pants guy?
Oh yeah, the pants sand.
There he is. Got an ideal frame, they say.
Yeah.
So this
I want to bring Rob back on just so he can body shame Cross a little bit more. That was fun.
Yeah. He's like, not so impressive with his shirt off. Like he's not a big human. Like just killing the guy. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
It's and I get the one dude's 340 and one guy's 305, but those are still large
Well,
humans.
Look, he knows infinitely more about the college dudes and the draft stuff than
Agreed.
I will ever have in my entire body. He knows more than his pinky. But with that said, like when he's like 6'4", 305, he's just not a big dude. And I was like, that's not a big dude.
Right. Yeah, 6'6" and up for offensive tackles.
Well,
I guess
6'4", if you consider the tackle being as tall as DK.
Yeah,
that's pretty big.
So I can put on another hundy and not be a big dude.
Yeah,
nice. Go for it. See how it looks.
I've been trying to go the other way. That's why I'm not drinking the booze tonight. Like I've been cutting back, man, and try not to be middle aged and as round as I am. So
yeah, same with me.
Pittsburgh, do they take a quarterback here?
No, they're gonna bring in Baker. I think that's their play.
Shouldn't Pittsburgh take Malik Willis and just be done with it and be like, we got the highest upside guy after?
Or they take the local guy, like Bloomy said.
Sure, yeah, they could take Pickett. The curse of Marino, I think, still haunts Pittsburgh, right? Pittsburgh. He was a Pitt Panther.
Yeah.
For the younger folks out there who maybe just don't realize that Marino went to Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh notoriously passed on Dan Marino, and he fell to the Dolphins, and then of course goes on to have a remarkable Hall of Fame career and then some. There he is. There's the protector. He's back.
All right. I feel safe.
So I do.
I've been asked an important question here about how cross scores on the swamp pass scale, and the thing is maybe for tackle it's not quite as important as it is center, because the quarterback you got to get up under there. The tackle doesn't really you don't have that exchange.
Look, so when it comes to tackles, and if you're a sand in your pants kind of guy, if you've got a little swamp ass to put in that sand, then now you have heavier sand and you got heavier sand pants.
You're definitely into like a swamp thing.
Drier.
True.
Yeah.
That's heavy sand baggy pants at that point, right?
That's right.
So that's Josh DeHuman breaking the news here.
Going with the local guy.
I do wonder if there's like
that's what they're doing.
Whether it's a chip on the shoulder or just something, lingering over them, being like, we can't do it again. Like we can't pass up the Pittsburgh guy again. And I just wonder if that factors into this decision. Not saying it should or is.
Move from 1983 factoring in would.
Well,
I would be furious if I was a Pittsburgh fan right now, because I mean, they've had 17 years to figure out the Ben Roethlisberger replacement. Like it had been that long that it had been obvious that they needed to move on from Ben.
Right.
Didn't do anything about it. And then they finally decide to address the position, and they do it in a weak quarterback year and take a guy with all sorts of questions and all sorts of limitations. He can come in and be an NFL starter, but he's a low end starter at best.
Just want to give.
You have the beard crew here.
Yeah, this is nice. How'd you guys
shortened it to get I shortened it a little bit because I was going to be on live, right? No, but so Brandon, which trade value chart do you primarily use? Do you ever check out Draft Tech?
I think it's Draft Tech is the one I use. Yeah.
So we are in range. I was thinking we should give up on the trade back in, but like we could totally trade with the Pats a first for their first and fourth for our 2 seconds. Is totally feasible. They'd even win on that deal a little bit. If there's a guy we got to get, we are falling into where we're in range with any of these teams now. Not to mention our relationship with the Packers, and they got a couple picks in there, so totally doable. I'm a little bit more of a believer now.
Well, not to mention my relationship with Jermaine Johnson. Like I've got an emotional stake here. Like I want to get back in and get Jermaine Johnson. Like that would.
How's your emotional stake in all the holes that we have on this team? Like, the only reason I ask is why trade up when we've got so many holes to plug? I mean, you're going to make less picks.
No,
but you want to plug in with really, really good players.
Yeah,
but if you get a fourth back, Adam, right? If you get we have a hole in the fourth anyway, right? So we lose our 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Get a first and a fourth. We don't take less picks, right?
Yeah, I guess if New England would do that sort of a deal,
they'd still win on the points, and we don't take less picks. We have nothing in the second, so we'd kind of be at a big gap there. I don't know.
Yeah, I contend there's lots of good players that come out of the second round.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. You're right.
The Seahawks have a fourth. They have the fourth pick that they got from the Jets in the Jamal trade.
But there's a big gap.
Hey, we got something good in the Jamal trade?
Well, I mean, we got a fourth round pick this year.
All right.
Let's see.
Don't we have a gap after that for a little bit?
No, just started the round fifth. Well, we have 2 fifth rounders.
Yeah.
Let's see the biggest gap. I mean, it might be the
sixth. It's the 6th round, isn't it? Where the big gap is.
Yeah.
Bloomy's there saying that Jermaine Johnson's falling for a reason. I'd be cautious. Bloomy, I tend to agree with you, but this one is just like, I mean, sure, DK Metcalf fell for a reason. Aaron Rodgers fell for a reason.
Yeah,
they did. It happens every year, and then the dudes are studs. I'm not saying Jermaine Johnson's a stud. I'm just saying Jermaine Johnson's a stud, and we should.
Yeah, and I'll try
probably better than D-Hop at wide receiver, right?
Definitely better than D-Hop. He's clearly top 5.
Yeah,
clearly.
Maybe we just feel good about the edge rushers we have, or we're just there's a lot of them available coming up in the second.
That would be my guess, is that they see depth, because John always talks about how he looks at this whole thing as tiers, right?
Yeah,
and
definitely.
That first tier of pass rushers, they came off the board in a hurry. I mean, they were gone before we even had a chance to pick. I mean, as much as you guys love Johnson and everything, but they clearly see him in that second tier.
Yes.
Yeah, or they see Cross as clearly in that first tier of offensive linemen that you couldn't pass on. It might have been the last of the options there for them.
Okay, here we go. Pat's on the clock. Let's see if we can trade in with him. That would be so sweet.
Reaction is kind of cool, though.
What's that? The Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
they head down, and
it's definitely interesting that the fans of Pittsburgh very likely know this dude like no other fan base knows.
It's like
right?
Aidan Hutchinson to the
man.
It's a similar type deal.
You definitely know the guy. So
how old
Kenny
is
Pickett has too much hair to be a good quarterback. I just saw him on TV.
How old is Pickett? Isn't he like 25?
He turned 71 this last month.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. There was medical concerns about his World War II knee injury.
All true facts.
All true facts.
I was reading about him in the book of Jeremiah recently.
Yeah. He looks happy, though. I'm happy for him, man.
Yeah,
like I root for all these guys.
Yeah. And that defense is so good. All you got to do is not mess it up. And
it's not that. I think that defense is okay. I think because Pittsburgh has been like, they get away with being like, oh, they're nasty and gnarly. It's kind of like the Ravens. Usually they are pretty good, but when they're not, they still get the benefit of the doubt of being a good defense, even when they're not. So
I feel like TJ Watt wins like 3 or 4 games on his own, doesn't he?
TJ Watt's freaking amazing. So yes. Yeah. Agree.
Oh. I don't like. Did you guys talk about this a little bit while I was eating? No, because that happened after the AJ Brown trade. If that's all that DK is worth, I mean,
no way.
Sign him now in a hurry.
No way. Just give him 25 million. Give him whatever 20-something million a year and make it happen. As we all know, the salary cap is magic and goes up every year anyway. And don't trade a potential, like he's already top 10. And he's clearly top 5 potential in the NFL for
definitely better than DeAndre Hopkins.
I take him right now over DeAndre Hopkins without a doubt.
Here's an important question. Like, since we're on the West Coast, can't we share in some of the infinite cap that the Rams get?
I mean, right.
Yeah. Well, we're not as famous as LA, so there's that. As LA.
The Chiefs have moved up into the Patriots pick.
What?
The Chiefs did,
because the Chiefs have 2 firsts.
Yes.
Well, they did at least until about 10 seconds ago.
Yeah. Well,
what did they
still have 2
the Chiefs
firsts.
just traded in. Okay. All
right. So what are the Chiefs doing?
Jermaine Johnson.
Jermaine Johnson. Hey,
I doubt it. They've got enough dudes on defense.
They need receiver too.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, they do need a receiver. The tier is about to drop off a cliff on the receivers, isn't it?
Well, who are the next dudes?
According to Rob Staten's tiers,
who are the next guys still available for a receiver? Do we
Watson,
know?
Which is one I wanted for the Hawks.
Didn't he go? Didn't he go
Watson's
to the
still
Commanders?
there.
I thought
Christian
the Commanders.
Watson?
Oh no, not Christian. Okay, who did the Commanders take? They took a wide receiver.
Yes,
they took Dotson.
Dotson. Okay, well I was
Christian Watson. A lot of people have been wanting him for the Hawks.
Dotson, Watson. I mean,
if we're picking a receiver, I want that kid from Cincinnati in the worst way, Pierce.
Yeah, man.
That dude is a freaking baller, man.
Yeah.
Well,
he is a baller.
Alec Pierce.
Yeah.
I love that you're never Ritter, but always Pierce because you
exactly.
Because you said so many times, because you're like, Ritter just throws his dude into like, death grips and he still comes down with the ball, right? So
hospital balls.
Pierce bailed his ass out all season. And the running back was pretty good. Like he had a lot of talent around him.
Yeah, Cincinnati was a good team. They were a good team.
He didn't have much of an O-line though, right?
No, it's college football. I don't know how much it matters.
Howell didn't have a great O-line this year either, and lost all his dudes to the NFL.
Damn.
Yeah.
Pierce is good. 6'3", fast.
His catch radius is ridiculous.
I want the other
awesome at 50-50s, they said.
Yeah.
The sauce is off the board. I want Kobe Bryant.
Which Bryant?
Kobe.
He dead.
No.
Oh,
Kobe
the other dude, right? There's another. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Don't name your kid after
it's C-O-B-Y, Kobe.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes it so much better.
What? So everybody with the last name Bryant can't name their kid?
I'm just saying I wouldn't.
Well,
right. It's like if
your last name, even if your last name isn't Bryant.
Before he passed, though, Adam.
Yeah, just Kobe itself, right? It's like all the people who name their kids Peyton.
You read my mind through there. Yep.
Got a decent story. Got a
LeBron.
Decent story.
It doesn't have to be last name James. If you name him LeBron, everybody knows who you're naming him after.
Right.
So like my one of my best buds in the world, his name is Jordan. And I went to UConn with the guy. And funny enough, this is actually a great, potentially multiverse tie in there, Phil, that you're going to love. First day I meet the dude at the UConn dorms. He's wearing a Mississippi State jersey which is funny as can be, which is a true story.
Cross.
Swear to God. Yes, he was wearing a cross jersey in 1996, but very prophetic. But he was wearing a Mississippi State jersey. Long and short of it, doesn't matter. I befriend the dude. We're fast friends. The second summer at UConn, he's like, oh man, come back to Seymour. There's this party in my town. Let's I knew half his town already. They all went to UConn. Seymour, Connecticut's this little valley town. Anyway, so I'm in his kitchen and I'm meeting his parents who have come up to the dorm. So I've met them before. And his mom starts calling. She goes, Michael, get down here. Like whatever. She's doing mom things, getting lunch ready. And I literally look at her. I go, who's Michael? And then my buddy Jordan walks in and I'm like, dude, you're Michael Jordan. He's like, yeah. He's like, you don't know that? So anyway, back to the Kobe story, the Bryant story. I had a very good friend who's still, but to this day, his wife calls him Jordan, even though now she's Nicole Jordan. I still call him Jordan. And turns out he was Michael Jordan. And I found out in the kind of the funniest way possible. So thought that was and plus again, wearing a Mississippi State, it was number 28. I don't know who that might've been back in the day in 1996, but wearing a Mississippi State jersey, first day I met the dude. So that's gotta be prophetic in some way, right?
That brought it all here. That's what brought it here for sure.
Definitely.
No doubt.
Well, we got.
I'm trying to get on the Chris Cross
off the board.
Oh, okay.
He's good, man. I like him.
Yeah. I want the other one.
I think McDuffie. I mean, again, I say he's good. Oh, he's good. Like I watched the middle of Huskies football. But like,
you have a life.
He's good enough to be a first round pick.
Yeah, exactly. But I like what they said about him. Like, oh, he's a great, man cover guy and great with his hands, et cetera, et cetera. I was like, ooh, the defense we want to play. This is a guy that we could use. But
guys, Kyler Gordon has the fluid hips and the closing burst.
Yeah, but what about does he have bendable knees? Like naturally bending knees?
No, only quick feet. So his feet are quick, but I don't know if they bend.
He just kind of sticks it around.
Yeah, he just does the.
But he does have early jump.
Pick a wide receiver. How pissed is Aaron Rodgers going to be right now?
It's gonna
like,
be
are we gonna get like some report that he's not gonna show up and wants to be traded and all that stuff?
The Packers should take Jermaine Johnson because they just lost their best. They've lost Z, right? So they should go get another.
Yeah, that's their biggest concern.
Well,
we need the return of the the return of the Aaron Rodgers cam for this pick would make it far more enthralling.
Yeah. That
Another
was
team
fun.
we could trade in with, though.
Question from memory. Didn't Aaron Rodgers go 22nd overall? Or was that 26th overall?
28th, wasn't it?
Oh, was it that late?
Maybe I'm wrong.
I think
Just
if you
'cause-
asked him, he said he was picked in the 7th, and he's still mad about it.
True.
And he took that personally.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers was 24th.
24th. Okay. Well,
it was
hit
an
the one in the
even
middle.
number.
In the 20s.
No,
Faster
Dave,
typer than me,
Bloomy was
Brandon.
on it. Bloomy had the memories there, 24th. Oh, Quay Walker, Josh DeHuman's saying.
Okay.
He's the linebacker from Georgia, correct?
And somewhere in Aaron Rodgers' world, a TV just broke.
It's not like the thing is like it's not like them to take a wide receiver now, which is
they have another one coming.
it's just there's a
Well,
lot.
yeah, I guess they probably do have 2 firsts after the Adams trade. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
They got another one
Raiders
coming in
one
6
right up.
All right. Well, maybe the TV was spared for a minute.
Yeah, until they take another off-ball linebacker.
Yeah, right.
What if it doesn't matter who Rodgers throws to? They all end up looking good.
Yeah,
Like, whoever they pick in the second round, it becomes a superstar if Rodgers throws to him.
I know he may be an ass, and people may hate him for different reasons, but
The man bun.
the man bun, yeah. But he's a
Reason.
damn good quarterback, man.
Man, nobody throws like he does. There's no doubt about it.
Although, I mean, being honest, like his playoff career has not been that good.
It has not.
Just straight up, like it's like games where he has not taken over games where it's like, okay, we got through the second round because of him. That just hasn't happened. So
He looks bored and miffed is what really throws me off. It's like, this is your chance to do what I thought you wanted to do, which is win.
Right.
And you're out there looking like less interested than you did when you played the Seahawks in the regular season.
yeah.
I don't know that.
I'll take another early playoff loss for 500, Alex. That's
Yeah,
that's
good
Aaron
answer.
Rodgers right there.
Yeah.
There's a nice
We
mention of,
got Linderbaum still on the board at center.
Yeah.
oh, please. I'd trade back up for him too. Like a great
Johnson still on the
great center. Come on.
Corral and Willis.
Well, we thought Spencer was the best center in the draft a few years ago. Remember that? We got the number one center.
Yeah.
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 It
It wasn't Curry bad, but
Oh man.
No, because it wasn't as high and he wasn't as big of a fail. Like he played 10 years.
He
but
played. Yeah.
He never made a Pro Bowl once, did he?
I would go with no.
Yeah.
See,
But he was the
Nakobe
surefire
Dean still on the
best
board.
center.
The other Georgia linebacker. Karloftis.
Yeah, I think I'm with what Adam was implying. We need to wait and get good players. It's just really hard to watch Jermaine Johnson apparently all of these people that get paid to look at players know that he shouldn't be drafted yet, but
Now the trade here though looks like the Bills have traded up. Interesting.
I could see the Bills going defensive line here for sure.
Yeah, this is what this was I think it was Rob Rand. I forget who it was. Oh, I don't know. I was listening to some pod today and they were talking about the Bills have the luxury of trading up. Like because they could be like, we can go from 3 picks to 1 to get our guy because their roster's so solid. Kind of the opposite of what you were saying, Adam. Like,
right.
Don't you want the 3 picks because we need them? The Bills could be like, holy crap, Jermaine Johnson's still there. If that's, as an example, and just go get
Linderbaum, maybe.
So Dave's thinking Linderbaum. They could also go Brees Hall and go running back and take the first running back.
They do need a running back.
Yeah, but they don't need to trade up for that. They just
That's
don't.
a good point.
But don't they have a good? Don't they have a good center? I thought their center was good.
I'm not schooled up on the Bills offensive line.
Jeez, and you do how many podcasts a week, Brandon?
0 Bills podcasts.
Well,
enough to not have enough space in his head to remember who the center for the Bills is right now.
Fair enough.
The Bills need offensive guard, tackle, running back, receiver, and cornerback. If you believe in ESPN.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I ran down the guys, Ryan, who are probably still up there as guys that you might trade up for. But again, at center, Linderbaum's a guy that people thought could slide to the top of the first round. I mean, the best center didn't go until middle of the second round last year.
Yeah, but then he became an All-Pro, which like I think like tilts Linderbaum's value in that way. You know, it just makes sense. Like, oh well, you don't take centers to here, okay, until they're all pros and they're freaking awesome, and then maybe you just do take a great center because they matter, right? So
sure, yeah. If they got an All-Pro center in the top 10 of the draft, I'd be okay with it too. The whole positional value thing. If a guy's going to be an All-Pro, that kind of goes out the window.
Yeah, there's
it's kind of like
it's so true.
It's kind of like quarterback. Oh, you don't take him that early. You wait till this pick. I'm like, okay, well, if he's going to be your starting quarterback, you pick him when you make sure you get
before
him.
Somebody else does.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter. You can't take it too early if he's going to be good. Now, if you're just throwing darts, you don't take him early.
I think any 11 starting positions.
Is this the Bills center name?
Is that Devotee?
Okay, apparently somebody needs to look this up. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it ain't going to be me, so.
I didn't think it mattered that much either, right?
No, it matters. It all matters. It'd be interesting, though. I just thought, in my brain, I'm like, no, the Bills have a high quality center. Like, not like.
Yeah, they do. It's Mitch Morse.
Oh, right. Okay. He's good, right?
Yeah, he's real good.
Yeah, real good. Okay. The pick is in. Here we are. Let's see.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of Seahawks fans, Raven, talking about not getting Creed Humphrey.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
unless D. Eskridge turns out to be awesome.
But you were on that from Jump Street, Brandon. You were right. You were right. I was wrong.
And Nimhauser was too. Brandon and Nimhauser were calling for Creed.
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of people actually.
Well, a year removed from it, it's like, there's Sky Moore sitting there from what was it? Same exact school that D. Eskridge went to. Funny enough, like same type of player, but we could have had Creed Humphrey, then just go get that speedy guy. I love D. Eskridge. Hope he works out, but I could also be man enough to be like, I was wrong.
So cornerback is where the Bills are going here. Elam.
Oh, Elam. Huh. Okay. I know of him, heard a lot about him at this point, but
maybe he'll help them not give up 17 touchdowns in the last 12 seconds of a big game.
Yeah, when there's 13 seconds left.
I could see corner being a good move for them.
Maybe they'll cover a tight end, the best
that
one
was
in the
their
league.
Top need. But supposedly that was their number one need was corner.
Okay.
How wild would that be if Linderbaum and Johnson were both there at 40 and 41?
Then trade everything.
And Andy's dream scenario. We had our nightmare scenario at number 9. Maybe we get our dream scenario at 40 and 41.
I don't think it was a nightmare scenario at 9. I mean, short of dropping.
Listen to What If? I mean, we discussed it as that was it. That was the nightmare scenario. That was it.
The nightmare scenario was that they would choose a quarterback. That was the nightmare scenario.
Well, tight end would have been.
That's the true nightmare scenario of dysentery. I'm just really glad we didn't end up getting Jordan Davis.
You're glad?
Yeah, I'm coming around to the cross pick because we don't have Jordan. We got one of the players at one of the 3 key positions that we needed to get. Yeah. And if they think he's good, then hopefully he's good. Lots of people think he's good. So, but I'm ended up feeling more like Brandon said he'd be with a tackle than I expected to be because it was the one that I thought was not Seahawky.
Yeah. Well, and hopefully I'll get to talk to EJ here again. Yeah. I know EJ was high on Cross.
Yeah. And EJ he seems to know stuff.
Yeah. He thought Cross was like, that's where like it was diametrically opposed between.
He kind of had him as in the 3 of. It seemed like there were a lot of guys that they had Neal, Cross, and Aquanu.
Yeah, they were like
all ranked in different forms.
Yep. So what do we got left here? We got that was the 23rd pick. Is that right?
It's Cowboys now. Yeah.
Okay, so we got 24. So we got it's 8 more picks before the end of the first.
Are we?
Cowboys
are we
need a defensive end or a tackle.
Are we hanging in there through the first round?
I mean, it's going pretty quick. I don't.
We're this far.
Exactly.
And I got to take the first, 8 picks off. So.
Okay, that's fair. Now you can finish the last 8. That's a good call.
Bill got
There we go.
to bounce out for his dinner for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Clinton got to slam
I'm
his
watching.
dinner as we were starting.
I had my lucky
dinner
meatball.
was phenomenal too.
Oh, nice. What'd you have?
Well, good. That's awesome.
My wife
I brought
made,
home
like,
leftovers for dinner, and I'm currently watching Brittany destroy all the rest of my wings. So I'm going to stay on for these next 8 picks and then just go hungry for the rest of the night.
That's cool.
Here we go. Talking quarterbacks with Dave. Adam.
Yeah.
Quarterback at 40. Who do you take?
Yeah.
I think Josh Allen.
Yeah. We could go back in time, right?
Well, Malik.
I guess
Malik was there at 40. How would you not take Malik Willis at 40?
I'd take Corral before I took Willis.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a coin flip for me. I mean, Corral as the guy that you look at and be like, yeah, he can point guard the holy crap out of an offense. You betcha. No problem that way. I know a lot of people get on the RPO stuff and everything like that. And that's how I missed on Herbert, to be honest. Watching Herbert run all that RPO stuff and the gimmicky offense at Oregon and being like, that'll never frigging translate. Guy can't do anything, And so I've been trying really hard to take the idea of, they played in that gimmicky college offense and so therefore cannot be an NFL quarterback. Like, the idea, well, you can't get under center and take a snap. I mean, I think guys can learn that. That's not the hardest thing in the world to learn. So it would be probably Corral if he's still there. Then I guess the next guy I would want to see, I would love it if they could find Carson Strong late.
Agree.
With the knees. He doesn't have knees that have good bend.
Yeah, those are not natural. Yeah. They used to be naturally bending knees, but
he also buys his shoes at the concrete store. Like that's a problem. But he's the best thrower of the football in this draft, and it's not close.
Well, one of the things that I think again, mentioning EJ a lot, I think EJ was saying, I think Brandon, even with your discussion, may potentially like that, with him, that he was so banged up that he really shouldn't even have played this year. He was like so immobile in the pocket that he probably shouldn't have played, but still played at a pretty high level, but likely should have taken the year off just to heal the knees. So it's like he has some mobility, but this was not the best representation of it. So if he actually gets the right rehab, because like Tom Brady doesn't move that well, but he's
greatest to ever do it. Like that's definitely.
And Roethlisberger, like they're pocket elusive. They could create.
Bledsoe couldn't move.
Right,
Bledsoe couldn't move at all.
They could create enough of a little bit of space and then make the throw they wanted to make. And
how quick is his release, Adam? Right? How quick is that release?
It's adequate. He's got a nice throwing motion. I mean, there's no big loop or anything like that. It's pretty compact, kind of situation. He's got touch to every area of the field. And why the reason I'm down on Ritter, I think, because Josh brings up the different options here depending on how you're looking at it, is his functional accuracy, his ball placement is terrible to every level of the field. Like Corral is at least accurate from mid on in. His deep ball's no good, and like he's gonna have problems throwing the.
Ritter's good over the middle, Adam. He's
sure if you love seeing Tyler Lockett hauled off on a stretcher, then great. Let's do it.
He throws a little risky one in there. Yeah. Noah Fant might not last very long.
Yeah. And there's just not a lot of upside. And maybe you could say the same about Corral, but at the very least, I know that I'm getting a guy who can at least run an offense and hit the gimmies that Russell often wouldn't want to take because he was just looking for kill shots all the time.
And that's what I think Ritter would give us, is a lot of those gimmies. I think where we would be really sad is miss the deep balls that were so accurate from Russ. But I feel like Ritter has good decision making. He's a leader. He elevated a school.
He's a good leader.
But yeah, he's probably a career backup. He's probably Rick Meyer-ish,
Yeah.
That's not good enough.
I'd almost send an invite to Josh just to get him on here, just so we can have 5 beards. But would five bearded dudes on the screen at once be too many? Would that break?
No.
Beard?
All the beards
Josh
all
has
the
good
time.
takes.
Yeah.
Josh keeps having good takes on here, I noticed.
Oh yeah.
I'm into it.
And look, the weird thing about Strong is his 40, I think, was the same as Corral and a couple of the other guys. And it was like, wait a second.
That's insane.
How can this be possibly true?
So,
I want to look it up because I was blown away when I saw Strong's 40 time. I was like, there's no possible way that doesn't translate.
So he has no lateral movement, maybe.
Or
right?
he's healthier now.
Yeah, that's true too. Or he's been training with Apollo Creed on the beach, and then now he could beat Apollo.
There you go. Who knew? There's a lot of sand in Nevada.
In short shorts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which you love, Adam. You love the short shorts.
I love it, especially when you pair it with the man bun. It's just a look that should sweep the nation even harder.
And a visor around the man bun.
Yep.
Short
that way
shorts.
It highlights it. Yeah.
Hobo hat.
Cut out shirt, right?
Yeah.
Low cutout shirt.
Really low, real low. Yeah.
Yeah. And also with the armpit holes cut out real low as well. I like that. Yeah.
Can you do a midriff with long armpit holes? Is that possible?
Dude, if you don't, you're doing it wrong. Yeah. I don't know how the physics work, but like
I'm seeing a visor dude with Aaron Rodgers' hair and like I don't even know.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about the world's douchiest look, if you can put it together, and we're honing right in on it. Yeah,
but it would be awesome. It would be awesome if we got the former Washington State Cougar quarterback, to pull that off, right? To wear this gear as the Seahawks quarterback this year.
Yeah.
So Adam, next time you make a bet with the Rams guys, right? Like I think the 40 you ran that 40 in the snow many years ago. That was awesome.
Yeah.
And different jerseys, et cetera, et cetera. I think you make the bet and you describe, meticulously, didactically, if you will, the douchiest outfit in the world.
Yeah.
And then you put it together and whoever loses has to run the 40 in the douchiest outfit in the world. And you capture a video and you put it on slow-mo and that becomes the video. That's just a thought.
I can't wait to do that because everybody is on pins and needles to see my midriff action going on. Because why in the world would you want to see a six-pack when you can get a keg like this, baby?
That's it.
Yeah.
With the Larry Bird wedgie shorts?
Yes. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I hate to interrupt you guys for an actual football game.
Wait, this isn't football?
Yeah.
Charles Robinson tweeted from an exec, Jermaine Johnson isn't sliding. The media had him overvalued. Good player, not elite. Needs the right personality fit too. So.
Okay.
Maybe top a second.
I mean, it's a take. I'm not saying he did have 14 sacks on a not great defense, right? So not great team. And that could be overblown too. That just could be.
Well, what's the personality fit? Like what personality?
Right. Good question. Like people who like lots of sacks? Because I do.
Right.
I'm not personality. Yeah.
I mean, does he need like a soft touch? Like, is that it? Like, is he kind of a sensitive guy, or like, does he need like a ball buster, or like, what's the deal here? That's an interesting.
I guess maybe he just needs to go to the right coach.
What they needed to do is have him do an eHarmony test before the draft, so that way they could match him with the right personality.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
The Ravens are back on the clock here, and somebody's going to get Jermaine Johnson, and it doesn't look like it's going to be us at this point. And it's
everything I'm reading about him is like glowing. I don't understand what this new take is.
Why not trade up with the Ravens here? No, see, the Ravens will probably take him.
That's what I'm saying. He's the dude
that's a Ravensy pick.
It's so Ravensy, and then everybody be like, "Oh, the Ravens are so good
to play defense." Yeah, real Ravens. Moves.
This is gonna be
720 points. So we could, if we traded a fourth and a number 40, we could do it, right? Or we would trade a third.
Just do it. That's my take. Just go get the elite. What I think is still an elite edge guy.
Diggs out here asking on Twitter. Quandre Diggs asking if the Seahawks are going to trade up into the first round.
Oh, I like that, Quandre.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that he's out there, stirring the pot.
He was calling for that on the radio today. Right before the draft, he was calling for that.
Well, you know why? I mean, honestly, think about why. Besides the fact that he, wants to go get a stud, probably has a dude or two that he really likes. He was also like, quote unquote, promised by Pete, like, no, this isn't a rebuild. Like, we're going to be contenders.
Right.
Like, right.
Yeah.
So that tweet has probably a little bit of like structure to it where he's like, okay, Pete and John, put my money where your mouth was. Right. Like, just freaking put it out there. Go get another first rounder and show me you were serious. Because everything else around since he signed hasn't been the direction that I think he was sold. So
it certainly doesn't feel that way, considering all the talk at the presser and all that stuff. We're gonna win ball games right freaking now, or whatever it was Pete said. It definitely feels like more of a slow burn. There's no doubt about it. But if you're Quandre, I mean, in some ways, like, what does it matter? You got your bag. I mean, there wasn't going to be a lot of teams, I think, lining up to pay him like we did. And I think that was done out of respect for the fact that he was playing out the end of the string and got hurt really late in the season.
And we need his leadership. We need his leadership coming through something like this. What if Linderbaum drops to 40 and we bypass the center again, right? Wouldn't that be a...
Oh my God!
How many fire departments are in Seattle? Like, are there going to be enough firemen to put out all the fires when we just like burn it down? Like,
well, we're loaded at center, guys. So
you keep forgetting that we are loaded at center.
You say the word loaded. It's got a connotation,
Yeah.
I just don't want to look forward to Drew Lock and.
Yeah, I'm
Gino
excited.
Well, so I think you could still look forward to Drew Lock and Gino if they did draft Willis, because it's just gonna take time. It's just gonna take a lot of time.
That's absolutely right.
I'm so on the other side of that coin, though. Like, I'm so like, if you draft Willis, just play him. What's the difference? Just go give him get him his.
I ordinarily agree with you. Agree.
Go 2-15 and go draft the best offensive tackle next year and give Willis a year to play football. Like, what's he going to learn from Drew Lock?
Oh, it's not what he's going to learn from Drew Lock. It's what he's going to learn being in a professional NFL building, just figuring out how to be a professional quarterback, the coaching staff getting their hands on him, Shane the Brain working with him, all that sort of stuff. Now, with that said, why would you reach for like a guy who maybe has top end potential in Willis this year when there's supposedly a bunch of quarterbacks next year? Like, we got to weigh that, right? With the 2 firsts next year, you're set up to go get that quarterback if you want it.
So do you guys want to trade 40 for next year's first rounder if somebody offers it? Would you be interested in trading 40 or 41 for it?
I'd do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
It would depend. It does depend on what team. Like, the
Packers, not so great.
Well, you want them to be a bad team, ideally.
Yeah. Good call, Brandon. Keep going,
Cardinals.
Brandon. Keep going.
So the Broncos then. Oh,
Right.
wait, they don't have
right. We already had their first and second. Oh, snap.
Yeah.
You live.
But the Niners, I would take theirs.
Oh, there we go.
Our center dreams are dashed. The Ravens took Linderbaum.
Okay, with that said, I've heard dudes talking about the whole center thing, in that whoever the dude is that was ranked second out of the centers, there's guys out there who believe that he's the better of the two.
The Nebraska dude, Juergens?
Yeah.
Was he the one that visited Seattle?
I don't know.
I saw a whole write-up on field goals about him. I didn't see that he made one of our top 30.
There was a dude that visited Seattle.
I know
I really liked what I read.
There's lots of Luke Fortner talk also at center, the Kentucky guy.
Dude, that Linderbaum has a jaw, dude.
Well, dude, he's dude, that guy,
he's fast.
He's also like, literally like one of the best wrestlers of college. Like the dude's a stud. They just got a great center in the back of the first round that's likely going to play for some team for 12 years. And
he comes from like an all athlete family. Like they're all athletic stars in different places, or have been.
God, he just looks apart, doesn't he?
Yeah, he looks like a giant center. Is going to be awesome. but you can't take that guy to a certain position because yada yada blah.
Yeah, that draft value thing, that's something that drives me absolutely nuts. It's like, because it's different for every team and every year it's different. Your value, what draft value is to your team and your organization. I mean, just because it doesn't pencil out via Jimmy Johnson's draft board of the, exactly the value of it or anything like that, the value might be different for you as an organization.
Yeah, there's obviously some positions you'd never take, like fullback, kicker, that kind of stuff. But
right
when you get into your starting 11, if they're going to be a stud all the time, there's no reason. You got a hole there, get it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there he is. Don't know if you guys have NFL Network on. There he is, winning his wrestling collegiate championship. Yeah, he's a stud. So, good.
But Juergens looks like he could be awesome, though.
Oh, sure. And hey, at least he's not on the 49ers, Rams, or Arizona Cardinals. So that's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Jets.
The best part about this draft is not seeing the rest of the NFC West pick in this round. That's actually quite soothing.
True fact.
That's a big win. We're winning the day.
Was the guy that came in for the visit with
Strange.
Oh yeah. Okay. The Jets just traded back in to the first round now too.
And they need defensive end. That's their top need remaining because they've already got the receiver and the cornerback. So this could be Jermaine Johnson right here finally.
Wow, the Titans again.
I hope so.
Put my hopes and dreams to bed.
Jermaine Johnson, I've seen enough. Wow, Linderbaum,
that's it.
Him freak out with his wrestling helmet on. He's a good player.
Josh Tehuman's calling it, and he's been accurate all night long here, saying Johnson to the Jets.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh, that would be
tuck it away.
Disappointing that we couldn't go do that.
Yeah, there's other dudes still.
Yep. Okay.
There's a lot, but it seems like it was a little bit of a drop off after him, if not a big one. Now we're getting into more of the
projects.
Could be Darrell Taylor, could be Robinson.
I wouldn't say projects, but
could be LJ Collier,
No.
Frank Clark.
Oh, Frank Clark was good.
Yeah, no, that's
what I'm saying. They've made some good.
You totally can.
Yeah, they've made some good picks.
Really good second round picks.
Woofy toofy. That's all I gotta say.
Woofy toofy.
Yeah, woofy toofy.
Okay. Is that I didn't know that was an idiom. All right.
New Yorker thing.
I thought for a second it was a player you wanted. Yeah.
We're gonna have to get Arnold Ebiketie just to make me not ever be able to pronounce one of the Seahawks players' names, right?
Yeah.
Penn State dude.
Yeah, and that was the one guy that Rob Stanton's like, you also hated.
So it's going to be the all make Rob upset all off season draft, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dave's just happy now that Linderbaum and Johnson are off the board, so we don't say their names anymore.
Yeah.
Those guys weren't going to be any good anyway. Screw those
terrible.
guys.
I never wanted them. I just typed it in a lot of different places.
I'm not sure they have natural knee bend anyway.
Well,
we're running out of picks though to trade up.
Yeah, we got 6 more, and the guys I wanted are gone. So yeah,
I don't want to trade up now. I think if we trade up now, it's because we're taking one of the QBs probably.
Gross.
Yeah, well, Bloomy made that point with that whole 5th-year option part. I mean, there's a lot to be said for that.
No doubt.
Yeah, maybe. Like, sure, contractually, but then they're like, I'm not reporting. So.
Right. No, for real.
But if Snyder
I want to trade it to the Broncos, for example.
Yeah, I'm not reporting.
If Snyder likes one of these dudes and they trade up, aren't you going to be excited because he's pretty good about identifying a good QB? We've noticed, at least from what we've heard. If I feel like he trades up to take one, that means he believes in him, and I'll get pretty excited about whoever it is.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get excited. I'm gonna be like the fans here that are at the draft, like they yell out a name, and they're just like, "Yeah, never heard of him before, love it!" Like, yeah,
awesome.
That's how excited I'd be.
Okay, even if it's Ritter, right?
Now the Jaguars are trading.
I'll feign it for you.
Wow.
I'll feign the excitement if that's what you want, Phil. I can do that.
I can make a pretty solid prediction here. Jaguars not taking a quarterback.
Probably right.
I would say that would make sense.
Probably not running back either.
No, probably not.
I do like that Jermaine Johnson's wearing the outfit that Macho Man wears when he's in his Slim Jim commercials. That's pretty awesome. So
Yeah.
look at that.
Good throwback.
Thank you. It's pretty much all I got.
No, I mean
See,
by
I
Johnson.
didn't. I guess I didn't
right.
want Jermaine Johnson. Apparently not.
Oh well. Okay. Well, we'll have to, you know.
I suppose if that's the fashion that he wore to these visits, they may have questioned his decision making.
That's what it is, isn't it?
That's
gotta be
fine.
They couldn't draft him because he's colorblind.
He's a 20
Nate Burleson.
whatever he is, 22
He clearly
million.
can't see the color yellow. That does us
They're
no
doing
good playing the Rams if he's trying to sack the quarterback.
They're doing the chop.
Yeah,
I'm way behind you guys probably. Who do you want now, Clinton? The guys you've been mentioning have been disappearing. So who are you after?
Yeah, they gone. I don't have a trade in at this point. So
I know your team no quarterback, so we know what you don't want.
Yeah,
None of these edge guys in particular, Brandon, that you were hoping to get?
No, we're going to get Howell and the best running back on the board, top of the second round. There we go.
Yeah, how does everybody feel about the idea of picking a back at the top of the second round if it's one of the big three that are out there? What, like Breece Hall, the kid from Michigan
Walker.
State,
yeah,
and then the kid from Cincinnati? Is he the third one that everybody's big on?
No, he's way down, right?
Oh, okay.
This Cincinnati dude, Jerome Ford.
Yeah, well, there was a third one. I don't know. But if they got one of the more coveted, let's say one of the top two backs, one of those two guys, Breece Hall or Walker, how does that sit with you guys?
I'm down with that if it's the guy they want.
Yeah.
Walker's
I like
an all-around dude.
That has proven to be the sweet spot for
draft a running back in the second round. It's
Yeah,
too
right,
early.
exactly.
It's too early at the top of the second round.
Exactly.
But
yeah,
that would be my prediction, is that's what they do here at the top of the second. Because when you really think about it, sure, okay, they just re-signed Penny and all that, and that's fine. But, he's a walking injury. And then Chris Carson, I mean, who knows, right? I mean, the way they've been talking, like, I'm not banking any hopes on that. And, I mean, future Hall of Famer Travis Homer isn't going to be, the answer. So
Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, Zam White from Georgia is one of the other guys.
Cook, right?
He's the other Georgia guy, yeah. I
James
haven't watched
Cook.
a whole lot of Spiller. Brian
Oh, yeah,
Robinson's the Alabama guy.
Yeah,
Spiller, that was the dude I was thinking of.
Spiller's
That's the one that Rob hates, I think.
Good pass catcher too, but I'm still I like it. I'm into the idea of like that's a good place to get a great running back. I mean, bottom line is no running backs are off the boards, right? And they probably won't be in the first round. So
I like Walker better than
and
Hall.
it's the FU Rob Staten draft.
yeah.
Which receiver did Rob hate? So we can try to project that. Okay. No,
Right.
there are some good ones. There are some good ones still left, but it starts to drop off pretty soon. I'm all about the second round receiver if they go that route too.
Oh,
I would.
Pierce.
I'm not about this. I just feel like we have so many other needs than wide receiver. In my brain, D. Eskridge is going to have a good season. So I'm like, pencil that in. I just like, to me, it's like Fant, DK, freaking Tyler and D and Freddie Swain. Fine. Like that is not our problem.
I like what Josh put there. There are some good running backs, 4th, 5th round area that
it's true.
Real good. So we could wait.
Yeah. I really like that Alabama back that Josh brought up, Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
He ran the ball in a style that is very Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
What was that game where he just had like 200 yards?
Yeah.
Was it one of the playoff games? He was just completely dominating that game.
Yeah.
What Bloomy's bringing up here. We talked about this last time on the last What If. This was one of my 40-41s because dude tears an Achilles at his pro day. If he doesn't do that, he's probably off the board by now. So
who is Ojabo?
He's a Michigan defensive end.
Oh, okay.
And really, really good. So
gotcha.
Opposite.
Was he 55? The opposite of
I don't know.
Hutchinson?
Opposite of Hutchinson. Like,
okay.
And from a athletic perspective, even more of an athlete than Hutchinson. Like the
Didn't he play linebacker? He played linebacker or pass outside linebacker, kind of like what we want. Yeah,
he's edgy.
In a
He's
3-4 deal.
Micah Parsons edgy. He's going to go get the quarterback. That's
one of
what
the fastest get offs. One of the fastest get offs in the entire class. I like that.
And Achilles injuries. I mean, hopefully and thankfully are just not what they used to be, right?
Ooh, he has snap in his hands. That's a new one. I haven't heard snap in his hands.
Blew me.
Ooh,
That's
there it is.
Snap in his hands and naturally bending knees.
Yeah,
Blew me. You're missing out, dude. You're missing out.
Yeah, and look, there's some sense to be made there if they did take a guy that's going to need a year, right? Because obviously, I mean, this isn't a year you're going to compete. So if you can get extra value there and sit on the dude for a year, I mean, it's basically what they ended up doing with Darrell Taylor.
Yeah, worked out.
Yes, exactly right. It'd be like, it's like as if you got a top 5, top 10 pick next year and you said, okay, we'll just stash that guy away. That's okay. I am okay to subscribe to. We're not winning the Super Bowl this year, but we just yeah, go ahead.
We got at least 3 guys totally that can rotate at that outside linebacker position with Robinson, right? Taylor, and the new dude from the Chargers that I keep.
Nwosu.
Could somebody Nwosu? Do you pronounce the N?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, you do. You Nwosu. You started with that. Yeah.
Nwosu. Okay.
Nwosu.
So there's 3 guys right there. But yeah, Ajabo, I read that he could probably be back by September where he could get going, but that doesn't mean he'd be playing this season. But he would definitely be in the first round from what everybody said for Michigan if it wasn't for that injury. So
yeah.
I'd love that. I would love that pick.
Yeah, me too. It was high first round too.
Yeah.
Devin Lloyd going here, and he was.
Oh, Devin Lloyd.
Yeah, and he was a guy who was talked about early in round 1, so kind of surprised he lasted this long too.
I've heard a fair amount of people say that he's fairly overrated.
Okay, yeah. Well, he's not going to Seattle, so he's terrible.
He's graded out a lot slower.
He won't be the Jags Wags.
Not the Jags Wags.
It won't be.
I just like the double L Lloyd.
Hey, Tuna Cat coming in.
Hey, appreciate it, man.
Hey, a buck is a buck,
Hell yeah.
That's just as good as money.
Yeah.
That's nice. Thank you, Tuna Cat.
$1 isn't even real money. I mean, throw it. Just let's test it out. See how many people throw $1 at, and see if it turns out to be real or not.
You mean like into the super chat or into a bucket? Like, what are we doing here?
I don't know.
It's just something that you do.
trying to figure out a way to get more people to throw dollars at us.
Give us your pick.
Hey, apparently I'll just need to dress up in that outfit we were talking about earlier and wiggle around a little bit. Maybe we'll get some dollar bills thrown at us.
Get some 99s.
Yeah.
That's the right kind of channel for this.
It's not? Okay.
This is not OnlyFans. I thought.
Adam's OnlyFans.
I've got 2 moves. It'd be good.
2 moves.
He has good knee bend.
Yeah. You'll see my old man natural knee bend.
Tuna Cat, not a freeloader.
Oh,
no, not a freeloader.
Cheers.
An amazing little flocker.
The Packers. This is where we're going to trade in, guys. Oh, no, the pick is in. Never mind.
but is it our pick?
Packers are on the clock, it says.
Yeah, I think the Jags pick.
Yeah.
But
are you seeing the pick?
I literally I want to know like Aaron Rodgers' reaction after this pick if it's not a wide receiver.
Okay, now you have to answer for Amy.
It's got to be Christian Watson.
Amy, 99 cents. I like
all right, there we go.
Listen, 99 Luft balloons, 99 cents. It's all good.
Did it work?
No. There
is that your trick, Brandon? Everybody do 99. It won't even charge you. Is that a maneuver?
I don't know.
We're about to find
just
out.
Click. Everybody click
We're
on
all
the 5. It won't cost you anything. You just fill out the form. Click on the 5.
It's like a free $1. Yeah.
That's how you find out if it's real. You hit the button, and if it comes out of your account, it's real. If not,
it was real, yeah. And if
everybody
it doesn't,
check at the same time. 1, 2.
Yeah, and it turns out it doesn't matter because it's 99 cents. So
yeah.
Okay, the next one that comes in, then 2 of us dance.
But we do appreciate it.
Okay.
They add up. Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the worst they're going to be out is a trip to Dollar General,
Yeah, but even the tax. I mean, we got state tax where I'm at. I know you guys probably don't, but I do.
No, because we believe in freedom in Montana. But yeah,
I
and
agree.
soaring property taxes offset it.
Yes.
But, yeah.
Oh,
Here's
there
a
it goes.
question: when have we predicted any of these picks in this first round since like pick number 4?
Like pick number 4.
Okay.
That was
Yeah.
it.
We got Sauce right. We all got Sauce right, and every time since it's going to be this guy. No, it's
Yeah.
So who did the Packers pick?
Devontae Wyatt.
Who he?
Wow, look at Tuna Cat.
Look at Tuna Cat.
Look at him. Well, that's kind of it. Two people. There you go. There's 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. Although
You
I'm starting to
tackle.
wonder if I should ever go hobo hat because, like, now that I'm getting in my 40s, like, it's getting a little thinner up there. So I might have to always go full hat from here on out. You know.
You got to get into that 4 hymns that you guys used to advertise.
There we
Check it
go.
out.
There we go. Yeah. Either that or, just go for your next haircut and they tell you, oh, honey, that's the last one. And you go, okay. And then you just start picking it.
Oh, honey.
Yeah.
funny.
Oh, honey, this is the last one. That's cute. You thought you needed this. Yeah. That's how I envision it going anyways.
I just figure you grow the beard out as this goes away, and it's kind of
Comb
like
over beard.
It just came back down.
Yeah. Loop it over the ears. That's where you go with that.
That'd be an interesting move.
Yeah. Be better than a
But
man
then-
bun.
Mildly better.
The Edward James Almost comb over. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So the Wyatt kid, is he a wide receiver?
No, defensive tackle.
Defensive tackle.
Oh man.
Dude, you see Devin Lloyd's hug? That was tight.
Oh, I missed it.
Oh,
Didn't see it.
Oh, I think he did a full, he lift the commissioner all the way up to like a 90-degree angle and then slammed him back down. It was pretty impressive. Slow-mo looked
Gosh,
really
just
good.
living the dream. I'd love to slam Roger Goodell back down on the floor. That would feel so cathartic.
He looks really stoked.
4 picks left. Patriots, Chiefs, Bengals, Vikings.
Oh, so if
Okay.
you're the Patriots, so you just spent, last year a crap ton of free agent money. You got Mac Jones, and that
Mhm.
looked okay, and then faded down the stretch. Like, what's the most Belichick-y pick here for them?
Linebacker. Chanel.
There you go.
Not a receiver.
That's not.
He's terrible at picking receivers.
It's just not. Yeah. I think.
Doesn't mean he won't do it.
Right. I just think that, but a good amount of receivers went off too. I would say, you're asking me, I'd say Wyoming Chanel. That guy's a ridiculously good linebacker, and Patriots just take players like that. So
Yeah. His first name's Wyoming.
no, he went to Wyoming.
Oh,
Cool.
okay. I was like, if his name is Wyoming Chanel and he plays linebacker, you just take him. It's like taking Max Strong at fullback.
I am going
Like,
to.
that's going to be a lock for sure.
I am going to put. I'm going to say this in a way. I'm going to make sure that my seed propagates in one more human, and I'm going to name my next son Wyoming Chanel, despite my last name, because
Yeah.
it's worth it.
I like it. Yeah.
Wyoming Chanel.
We should know
Yeah.
Bonner.
No.
Not Kobe Bryant
No, no.
Bonner.
I'm-
Kobe
I'm-
Bryant Bonner.
No.
Phil, I'm ditching the Bonner for this next kid.
Okay.
You missed the point. the
tough
kid
to
will
pull
be
off.
The kid will be Wyoming Chanel.
There you go.
That's a great name. I did want to name
So-
my. Oh, good, Phil.
What if we go for like Bernard Rayman and get another offensive tackle? And just,
Oh, I'd go for that.
just fire
yes.
it up with both
Yes,
sides young and grow them up, ready for the quarterback that we're going to get next year when we get Levis.
all for it. Do it.
Oh, seriously, anything in the trenches, man. Just
Yeah.
anything in the trenches.
I would
Kenneth
rather.
Arthur's
I
been
prefer to
pumping
go
Raymond.
defense too. I feel like we need some defensive guys. Come on, Pete.
We definitely do.
But I did say that we are going to pick 2 offensive guys with 40 and 41. So kind of going against myself here.
We
Well, I
already
think
have Clinton's favorite offensive tackle, which is Curran on the other side. So maybe we're fine.
Yeah.
He was an okay.
Don't
he's
go
an
against
okay-
Big Red.
He was
Yeah.
an okay right tackle. Like, and maybe he could be better
Yeah.
because he barely, played like half a year and was good.
Yeah.
So I just call it like I see it, man. Like, I think he was a pretty big surprise to the upside. Like, who is this guy? Oh, he's okay. Like, that's good. I mean, you get to the NFL level and you put a guy in who's like a no name and he plays tackle and plays it pretty competently. That's bonus territory, man.
So you guys want to predict how the press conference is going to go? Like, are they going to say, yeah, we got Cross coming in here and he's really going to, we can see how he's going to compete with last year's awesome pick that we really loved.
Forsyth?
Forsyth, yeah. So he and Forsyth, they're going to go at it. We're going to see who wins that job out. Either way, it's going to be a win. What do you think they're going to do?
That's about it.
Probably. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Oh, the energy in the building is so good right now. Like it's all about the competition, you know. So no, that's
that's
what
we were
they
really
will
competing to get back in the first round, but didn't happen. We're happy to stay with our 2 picks back to back.
Yeah.
We really like that.
I think I might have to turn off my TV if I have to look at this Rams player for much longer on the screen. I'm over it.
Oh, you're not a big
He's a Bengals.
Oh, he's a hell of a guy. I mean, he's a good human being. He just happens to play for the devil. So
no, he's not. He's former Bengals offensive lineman.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever played. Just forget about his time with the Rams.
Yeah, he did.
What time?
ESPN already updated our depth chart, and we already have Charles Cross starting at left tackle on the ESPN depth chart.
Well, that's all right.
He bumped Forsyth over to the right side just like that.
Yeah, there it is, Amy. Amy hit it right on the head. Yeah, we called him. He was super fired up. We're fired up. Fired up about the season. Always compete, fired up.
We're going to get him into the program, and, you know, he's just going to compete.
Yeah.
Man, you got Clinton and Brandon.
Man, what I wouldn't give for a camera on
10
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
As they showed Devontae Wyatt getting picked.
Well, you know what?
You know why Devontae looks so sad, like, as he's taking that call? Because he knows he's going to be Aaron Rodgers' whipping boy when he gets to camp. You are not a receiver.
Yeah. I mean, that's perfectly Packers, right? I don't even think it's like the wrong thing to do. Be like, oh, we have got to go get a wide receiver. Like, I don't know, maybe. Why don't you go play great defense? Like,
they do what they want.
Yeah.
Rodgers, you throw to who we let you throw to. And
yeah,
we paid you a lot of money to do that.
I'm not saying it's been hyper successful because they probably should have won more than a Super Bowl, but it's been successful.
Why couldn't we handle Russell the same way? Why couldn't we handle Russell the same way they handled Rodgers? Because Russ seems less prickly than Rodgers, but maybe he's more like steadfast. Or
I think Russ is more even more subterfuge than Rodgers. Like Russ, the last 18 months had a plan to get out of Seattle. It is extremely evident. The breadcrumbs are all there. We talked about it. Brandon, you and I talked about it. The moment I saw Russell Wilson running the football late this year, I was like, he's gone. Was it because an agent is in his ear saying, you got to put this back on tape that you can actually run the football? For a year and a half, he didn't take one read option and take it. And all of a sudden he's run the ball with 5 weeks to go.
So why didn't he play better the last 18 months? If he played better, that would have helped.
He didn't run the ball because his
finger was broken.
Well, that's part of it, but he stopped. Yeah. He took away a piece of his game, and by doing so, he gave away 3rd and 2s and 3rd and 3s because they would just crash down on Carson because he would never tuck it and run it. So that threat goes away, and he's still a very good quarterback, but he's not. He sinks a level, and that took the whole team down. And then he starts running the ball with 5 weeks to go, 6 weeks to go, because he's got to put it on tape. And lo and behold, there's a trade. Like,
so you think it's impossible for us to have handled Russ the way that the Pack have handled Rodgers and just say, no. You're going to keep playing?
No, it's not impossible. I mean, you guys have heard me say it on the pod multiple times. Like, if I'm Jody Allen, I just would not put up with that shit. I just wouldn't. A contract is a contract. Like, you come and play. And I don't care. I just don't care. Like, I don't understand. I mean, maybe it's the difference between Midwest Wisconsin, right, where it's pretty hard-nosed, right, to Seattle, which is just kind of a soft town and just soft. It's just passive-aggressive nonsense that is so frustrating. And I don't understand putting your foot down. And maybe the only reason is that Pete was tired of the shenanigans and was just like, you know what, whatever. Like, then go off to Denver. And,
all in or not, right?
Yeah. Maybe that's it. But I think the Cardinals are actually kind of doing the right thing with Kyler. Like, just, well, I want a new contract. Okay, well, suck it. So
Get used to
you're gonna
playing
go play
here.
baseball?
I think that they're not going to do it before the
They're
draft.
not gonna do it
Most
this
of the
year.
contracts don't happen until after the draft anyway.
If you are smart, and I'm not saying the Cardinals are, because clearly they're the Cardinals, but like, why on earth would you pay Kyler this year? He's such an injury risk. He has such a checkered history in terms of just fading in the second half of the season and being injured. Like, let me see it one more time before I give you the bag.
Yeah.
Well, and Andy maybe made this comment about Russ, but I would think that for the Cardinals too, why not make this move? Right? With the quarterback salaries taking the jump that they are this year, then what's it going to hurt you to do back-to-back franchise tags after the end of the contract?
It's not. You're gonna make like $40 million a year, like 2 years in a row, right? It's not a bad gig, right?
Yeah.
And so you piss off the guy and he dogs it for a couple years. What does that do to him long term when he's going to get the bag, right? Like, he's not going to get the kind of money that he would if he balled out. Like, you have all the leverage of your team.
Maybe Snyder was just really tired of Mark Rodgers and is like, I've got to get rid of this guy. Because it doesn't make a lot of strategy sense
by giving Russ the franchise tag a couple times. So yeah, we're done. This is what's happening.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's happened. It's over with. We're gonna draft Sam Howell tomorrow. He'll be our future, our quarterback of the future. And
so Karlaftis to the Chiefs. That was the other edge rusher that people were talking about. Yeah.
The other guys.
That's right.
So that was just before the Patriots. Is that right?
Nakobe Dean's still on the board is kind of surprising. I knew they were thinking about 5 Georgia defenders going in the first round. And
there's a ton of good guys. We got a ton of options tomorrow. I mean, we got a ton of options. We're getting down to the last few picks. What do you hope most for, Adam? I mean, you seem like you're just ready to roll with the flow and cheer something on, but what do you hope most for?
Going through the third day of the draft, that sort of thing.
Tomorrow, like we got 2 picks at 40, 41, then we got 72. You hope we don't get a quarterback, right?
Yeah, I would rather pass on that for now. If one of the top 2 backs are on the board, take him. And then with the next pick, go out and get the next best D lineman, especially interior. I know we keep talking about edge rushers and everything, and edge rushers are great. I mean, they really are one of those premier positions. But if you really want to set up Darrell Taylor for success, Alton Robinson for success, and things like that this next year, then if you're generating pressure up front with Harris and Puna and whoever you drafted here in the high second round, then all of a sudden now it makes it way easier on those fellows out on the edge. And you want to bother quarterbacks in this league? Get pressure up the middle.
Yeah. So you're not worried about the Bobby replacement yet? You just go roll.
No, I'm rolling this year with Barton, and I'm fine with it. He's 80% B-Wags, and he looked fine enough. Either that, or if they want to flip-flop it and throw Brooks into the middle and toss Barton outside, I'm fine with that. I don't
safety.
Yeah, 3 more safeties would be great. That'd be good.
No,
and then let's convert them all to nickel corner and not have it work out. That'd be cool.
No, what I'm saying is run like more of a 5-3.
Oh, I see.
5-3. You put more safeties. You put another safety drop because we got
big nickel
instead of going for the run that some more.
We got good safeties. Like, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be
on the bench even.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan Neal is a good football player. So,
and maybe you take another rangy safety and you make Adams more of the box defender.
Sure, let him go do the things at the line, right? Let him go blitz.
Yeah.
Let him go cause havoc. That's the thing. Like, from year 1 to year 2 with Adams, I know he got injured. It just seemed like they took away his havoc card, and I don't know why. It's like,
it doesn't seem like Neal's better at covering the tight end, the running back, than even Adams, don't you think?
Yep.
Like, Adams is more dynamic in the pass rush against the run, but on the pass, it seems like Cody or Neal have been better defenders on those. I mean, maybe that's just me. I don't know.
No,
I would agree with that.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. And Raven Maffei is still there.
Yeah.
So
I'm with you, Adam. I think we go
pass
pass
rusher options.
Maybe running back.
Yeah.
I don't mind another tackle though. I'm totally down with another tackle if there's one they like.
Yeah.
I love. I'll give my alma mater some love. Travis Jones from UConn. Like, he's like Jordan Davis, but just without the Georgia hype. So,
Really?
oh man, like go look at his size. Go look at his.
I was just more surprised they played football at UConn. That's a thing.
It's like a Prius. It's not fast. It's not good.
Okay.
It's not
All
good. They don't.
But does he have long hair and a big booty?
Yeah, he does. They do. Like it's like they don't win a lot. However, he's damn good, and they play pretty good competition. They get waxed, but he was really good. So, just some misplaced dude who chose UConn for God knows what reason to play football. But he's really good. Like, he is right below Jordan Davis in like all the athletic scores, but also it's on tape. So, like,
here's my prediction.
Big ass dude up the middle.
I'm going to predict this right now. Minnesota takes Willis.
Okay.
That wouldn't be terrible.
Speaking of Minnesota news, Cousins signed a 1-year deal.
Yep.
How much did he get? 45, 42, 33, 37?
1 year, $35 million.
Was it all guaranteed?
All guaranteed.
Good for him.
That's how the Cousins do.
He's the quarterback Revis.
Not that
he's the best. Not that he's the best, but he just kind of,
banking the guaranteed money.
But that dude set the market when he got that deal. He changed the guaranteed market for quarterbacks, and he wasn't.
But he didn't though. It didn't happen. Like, everybody talked about it like it was going to be all guaranteed all the time. And the next one has been what, Watson? And everybody's freaking out. No. Well, now we got to do it again now.
Not all guaranteed all the time, but like certainly more guaranteed. Like the guaranteed bucks started to really creep up, I felt like, after he got what he got. That's at least my perception of it. I hear what you're saying. Like, he got that uber. And by the way, like,
guaranteed,
you could look back at it and be like, okay, he's been healthy. He's been at least an above average quarterback. He actually probably fulfilled that contract and then some, average wise, average dollar, per year wise.
If the Vikings quarterback, sorry.
That's good.
I was thinking about the quarterback thing. Kellen Mond was the guy that they took and last year.
That's right.
Yeah.
But they also changed over coaches. So
yeah, because I think Zimmer had an active, passionate hatred for Kellen Mond.
Yeah.
And Brandon, you keep saying you want Hal. Is that really what you want, or are you just having fun? Do you have hopes for tomorrow, or is Hal?
I like Hal. Come on.
No, you don't.
I do.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
He's like my least. Yeah, I think he'd be a good backup.
Did you only
in the
watch
NFL.
2021?
No,
I'm asking Phil.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I just watched a couple games of each of them, and he was like,
his 2021 tape is not very fun because it's just him running up the middle.
He's not very fun.
What
do you like him?
Throw into De'Ami Brown and who was it? The Vikings wide receiver that they drafted last year. They had a really good team. No. It was a dude that they got
year before.
6th.
Okay.
His name.
Honestly, whoever's John picks, if he goes for one, I'm going to be stoked because I know that I just really believe in his ability to look for quarterbacks. So, but for me watching him, I was least excited. But that'd be cool. I just got different hopes for tomorrow. Kind of.
Oh, look at Amy.
We wait till next year.
Well, she de facto did 12-12, right? Because she gave us the $2,
and
now $10. So she's only 12 cents short, I think, or 14 cents short. We can call it good.
We can call it good.
Very nice.
I'll need a dance
for
now?
you guys.
Yeah, it's Phil's dance. Phil and Clinton have to dance.
Dance.
I'm not. Yeah, they can't pay me enough for that.
Just do the Macarena. Come on.
The 9-finger dance.
9-finger dance.
I walk away. We get $10. Wow.
Man, about a month or two ago, Phil, I
That's
thought I
all it
was
took.
going to have even less than 9 after a day at the mill. It got scary
Oh,
there
I
for a
bet.
second.
Those are creepy places.
Yeah.
Those are creepy places. You ever done any CNC machining?
Dance needed.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it
that'll
happened.
do this.
Oh, I think
right.
somebody wanted some analysis on
Break shear.
Who might need some edge. I could see the Vikings going edge. They have 2 picks ahead of us. They have the last pick in the first round.
But they just signed Z, and they re-signed Daniil Hunter.
Did they re-sign Hunter?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
If John
I think
wants his
might be
cue,
okay.
he'll have this. If John wants his quarterback, he'll have this set up. He's got a good relationship with the Vikes. He'll already be planned in, going, okay, here's what's going to happen if this quarterback is left. We'll trade in. We're going to get our fifth-year option on our guy.
I got a
Let's
serious
see.
question for you, Phil. Like you said, well,
Yeah.
John's really good at, the quarterback thing and everything. Like, okay, short of Russell, which good one?
Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. He was
Oh,
interested
in
in both
scouting.
to the point
yeah.
that it made Russell really upset when he was interested in trading to move on him. That's like multiple verified reports. My understanding is Mahomes was his guy, Josh Allen was his guy. Mark Rodgers and Russell threw a fit over his interest.
Yeah.
Those are the only ones that I know that he was interested in. And boy, you talk about a good eye for quarterback. Not to mention he wanted to draft Russell sooner, but Pete's like, we can hang in there. And they took Bobby and they waited till the third, and that was the one he wanted. So I just feel like the three names I've heard. I haven't heard any other ones other than Magoo. That kind of stuff doesn't really count. You're just
right, because that's what I was thinking. Like the guys that they've actually brought through the system, right? Like
I don't count.
Wait, did
Magoo.
Matt
That's
Flynn
super,
pan out? Did Magoo pan
No,
out?
no. I'm talking about I'm talking college. His college scouting. Those are the only three I know about that he was that he was in on, and maybe there's other ones that I'm not thinking of.
Okay.
He liked Baker too, huh?
Yeah,
maybe.
Is that what someone said? Someone said he liked Baker.
That was the Josh Allen year, so
Okay.
right?
Josh Allen was his guy.
Yeah.
We got one more pick to get back in, and that's it.
Oh, I think NFL.com has it through. They have the Vikings pick in too.
Oh, that pick is in. Wow, I got the
Malik
I
Willis,
just saw
baby.
the Bengals pick is in.
Yeah. Well, let's see what Josh DeHuman says in about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
He's
other teams that could go defensive line.
Germany.
I think the Bucks are more interior. Then the Vikings have the second pick in the second round. The Titans probably are good on the defensive line.
Daxton Hill.
Yeah.
That's Minnie?
No, that's
Or
Bengals.
That's Cincy. Cincy.
Oh,
So
they
you're
took him. I
showing
thought-
that
Gotcha.
you're showing that the Norsemen have already grabbed something.
Yeah, Josh DeHuman has it up. Lewis Seen.
Oh, really? Lewis Seen went. Okay. That's the other. That's the other Georgia safety.
The Georgia
Right?
safety, yeah.
Yeah, he's good.
But the
man.
Georgia linebacker doesn't go, but the Georgia safety goes ahead of him.
Yeah. Well, the
No
Georgia safety's
quarterbacks went. Somebody won some big money.
No, one quarterback went.
one, but the NFL.
Oh, that's right. He doesn't count. Pickett.
The
Tiny
big
hands. Tiny hands.
the over under for quarterbacks on Caesars as of today was actually 3. It wasn't 2.5. It wasn't 3.5. It was 3. So
Wow. Yeah.
and that was
A lot of
like
people.
I was like minus 110. So if anybody out there, if you're betting 100, you get 90. But you smash that. And I'm sure you could have teased it down and said, okay, not even 2 quarterbacks would have went. You probably would have been paid $500 for that bet. But
I don't even want to say how much I won on this, Quentin. I don't even want to say.
Well, my daughter.
Yeah,
So
that's
Tampa at
that means
33 tomorrow.
It's time
Tampa
to
at
read.
33 tomorrow. Is that quarterback for them?
Who's that?
Tampa. They say
No.
they're at
Let's see that.
33.
No, they got
they're in win now still.
Even after Brady tried to run a Florida coup and go to Miami and be an owner and a player and all that stuff. That
I
doesn't
think Tampa goes offensive
spook you?
line with that pick.
Yeah, they're taking a dude they could start hopefully week 1.
Yeah.
They're still in win now mode. They got a good team.
And it starts up at 4 tomorrow. Is that right? Draft at 4.
I don't know.
I think it was 1 hour earlier tomorrow.
Okay. I'll be on soccer practice, but I'll be watching the one.
Hey, Matthew Crawford. I
That's the dude, right?
figured out how to get it to 12-12.
That's the guy. That's the guy. When it happened, I said, hey, I was like, what's gonna happen is he's gonna find his way in here, but he'll tell 2 friends, and they'll tell 2 friends. So and he's gonna eventually, chip into the pot because
Here it is.
he's a smart enough guy to get in, and that's Matthew Crawford coming in. Nicely done, Matthew. That's awesome.
Yeah. And I love the phrasing, the guilt you think I might feel. I love that. I love that. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
You be
great.
guilt free. Yeah.
I love it.
You're all good, Matthew. Oh, you can type it in manually. Okay. Well, that's cool.
All right, guys. Thanks for letting me jump in with y'all tonight.
Thanks,
I
Phil.
appreciate you filling in. Yeah.
I do think defensive end is possible. I think.
Okay.
There's
some good ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the Texans would be one to watch with the 5th pick. And then I suppose you have to consider other teams jumping up into the top of the second too. But of teams with defensive line needs, yeah, I'd probably look at the Texans mostly. The Jets already took Johnson. The Giants,
yeah. Let's get David Ajabo tomorrow. Wouldn't that be sweet? And Christian Watson has a nice receiver too, but I don't know if we're ready for receiver. But
all right, let's do it.
Clinton, just be sure to put them waterproof pillowcases on them pillows tonight as you cry yourself to sleep over no Johnson. I can see it.
Those are on every single night, Adam. I weep myself to bed every night anyway. So
and tears of joy, I'm sure. Tears of joy.
Yeah.
And I think with that, guys, there's only one thing left to say.
Go Hawks. Seahawks.
Go Hawks.
Yeah. Hooray, Cross.